Welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. Big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch this, even though you missed the live party. Guys, that is the best part. So make sure you are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So hit that subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. If you'd like to support the channel, head on over to TheIndianJesus.com for your very own official merch. We got shirts. We got a whole bunch of stuff. You can get a throw pillow only at TheIndianJesus.com. Guys, we do also have a Discord server that is absolutely free to join. 24/7, we are in there hanging out. It is a great place to meet new people and interesting people and have cool conversations. And like I said, it is absolutely free. However, if you are a member of this channel here on YouTube, you can, hold on. If you are a member here on YouTube, you can scroll right below the video here, hit that join button. There are a few different tiers here, but it starts at just $2.99 a month, gets you members only live streams, all that other good stuff here on YouTube. But it also opens up the full Discord server, guys, and that is where the goodies are. After we are done here, we are headed over there for an after party where we don't have to worry about any YouTube censors or anything like that, and you don't have to be stuck behind your keyboard. You're actually on screen with me and everybody else. It's a good time. Come and join us. So what is going on? What is going on? It seems like mainstream media is effed. Comcast is saying they want to split it off and not have anything to do with any of these channels. And I think, you know, after this election, it really just was the nail in the coffin that we just don't need those people. So I thought instead of, you know, going on some dry report as to, well, those people are selling those people, Dave Smith actually did an interesting podcast last week with a comedian, Chris Faga, and they actually did a really good kind of you know, like look back, kind of like a Monday morning quarterback, like how did this happen? And it's not totally comprehensive of everything in the mainstream media, but it was a really interesting conversation, and I think really highlights a lot of the reasons why you just cannot trust mainstream media. So let's dive right in. As always, guys, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's doing good. Welcome to a brand new episode of Part of the Problem. I am Dave Smith, and I am joined by my brother, Chris Faga. How are you, sir?
What's going on, Dave? Thanks for having me on the show, man. People are already tweeting, are you going to have Sam Harris on? No, I am not Sam Harris. I am way more fun to have a beer with. I shut up sometimes.
Jesus Christ. Well, we'll see. Still waiting on that response from Sam Harris. We'll see. Well, I'm sure he'll take me up on my offer any minute now. Yeah, what a weird one. What a weird one Sam Harris is. It's also just kind of bizarre, like as so many things in my life are. It's like just surreal that it's like is Sam Harris coming at me? Like the guy that I watched when I was 20, you know what I mean?
Same.
Remember when he used to get everything wrong? I was watching.
Yeah, I watched a lot of him. I watched Ben Affleck look like an idiot in front of him and Bill Maher. All of his big moments.
Dude,
about that.
And of course, there was such a good counter argument to that oh god, I hated that it had to be Ben Affleck. Like it had to be the
Ben Affleck ruins everything.
Worst, like Hollywood liberal,
Our nation's worst Batman.
Yes, the guy who could ruin a Batman movie.
Yeah,
that guy.
Who,
by the way, I'm really not a conspiracy theorist, but I do not believe wrote Good Will Hunting. Just saying.
How about them apples, Ben?
Yeah, well, it just is. I don't believe that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck wrote this masterpiece and then just made crap. Like as kids, they just stumbled into this great movie and then just made shit for the rest of their careers. So I don't buy it. But he's just like, of all the people,
they get into it, guys. They're just funny enough that like let's
be countering Sam Harris. You get like a famous Hollywood actor going, "Wah, you're racist."
Shout out to Behave. Welcome to the party. It said gone is not Santa, indeed, but neither exist. Welcome. We also got Mighty Sarlocke. Good to see ya. How are you guys?
Famous Hollywood actor going, "Wah, you're racist," and you're like, that's the counter that you have. Whereas like there would have been. I remember I did an episode on it at the time. But I just didn't have an audience at the time. But I had a podcast. But it was like, no, the counter is like he went on this whole thing where he was like, well, Muslims just want to kill everyone. And okay, sure, there's like 1.5 billion of them.
I would love to be able to show this clip, but it was on Real Time, not Club Random, when it was on Bill Maher's podcast. And it was right around, I don't remember when it was. I want to say it was right around 2010-ish. And Ben Affleck and Sam Harris were on, and they were talking about Muslims and terrorism and stuff. And Sam Harris was basically just saying, like, no, like straight up, their ideology says that they should kill us because, you know, whatever. And of course, Ben Affleck was like, yeah, that's so racist. How dare you? That's what I'm talking about.
Muslims just want to kill everyone. And okay, sure, there's like 1.5 billion of them, and only like tens of thousands are actual jihadists. But then there's all these people who are sympathetic to the jihadists. And then there's all these people who want to live under Sharia law. And you just be like, yeah, okay, now let's do us.
Yeah.
There's 300 million Americans. There's only like really a few hundred neocons. Yeah, they wake up every single morning thinking about killing innocent Muslims. But then there's a bunch of people who will vote for the neocons or who will support them or who, whatever.
It's a good point. I mean, I still agree that Muslim, a Muslim society is going to be inferior to ours, but still a good argument. Shout out to Inside Her. Welcome to the party. Yeah, Ben pouted like a little baby girl. How dare you? I can't believe it. It's horrible. My ears, my Hollywood ears. Welcome to the party, sir.
And there's a bunch of people who will vote for the neocons or who will support them or
not anymore.
Who, whatever. Even the ones who say they're not neocons will staff their administration full of them. Like, I don't know. It's just like, this is.
Well, hopefully not anymore.
They always have to look at one side and not the other. And that's basically the game.
Well, I mean, that's just kind of what everybody does. That's the day. This day you go like this, and then
the game.
I remember when my main issue with Obama when he was running for president.
Thanks, Obama.
Do you remember? This like went away immediately. He was kind of running on conscription, but not for the military, for like service.
Yeah, he floated that out. Yeah,
and people were talking about it. No, it was like a big part of his platform.
No, I remember. Yeah. No, I remember.
I don't remember that. I mean, again, I wasn't paying attention. Let's see. Obama runs on conscription. No, that's not what I wanted. From the Hill, 2014, a military conscription proposal for Obama's new decades-long war. From the Hill. America the Vulnerable, where are we? America the Vulnerable appears to increasingly lack a national will to stop the president's latest journey into war. And again, we're talking about Obama. So I was delighted yesterday to watch a clip of Senator Bob Corker bring a challenge to the Secretary of State John Kerry's new strategy against the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. I was today years old when I found out that's what ISIS stood for. Kerry and the president are exercising the worst. So apparently this, I did not know. Interesting.
Yeah.
And people were talking about it. No, it was like a big part of his platform.
No, I remember. Yeah. No, I remember. It was.
And that was as late as 2014.
Elected, but it was in his day where he was like, "What if we, restored national participation by saying 2 years after high school you have to go do something for military."
Hey, shout out to Funk Master General. Welcome. Why does my applause keep going out? Welcome to the party. Coming in hot, no question, no comment, just pure love of the game with the $2 super chat. Of course, every donation comes with a treat for Morty, and that is 1 out of 10 for the Swole stream. 10 super chats of $2 or more, and you got me on the ground doing 15 push-ups. We did 10 last time. We're doing 15 this time. Get me swole, bulk me up. Let's do it, guys. Thank you. And of course, sir, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Very much appreciated.
8 years of neocon Bush and Cheney shit. I was like, you really want, even if you like this guy, you really want to trust the next guy with whatever this indoctrination machine is? Like, it's a crazy thing.
I mean, the next guy happened to be Trump, but the next guy.
Yeah, and it was and particularly I remember thinking, and because I guess I was naive or whatever, because hindsight's 2020, but through the Bush years, of course, as we're old enough to remember, there was like a real anti-war movement on the left, and there was a lot of like skepticism of like the Patriot Act and things like that.
Remember when the left was skeptical of the government? Shout out to Guam Tag. Welcome to the party. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Welcome.
And I remember, during the Obama 8 years, it was like the anti-war left disappeared. But I remember when Trump first started looking like he was going to win the primary, being like, oh, well, maybe the best part of Donald Trump winning will be that the left might have to revisit some of these things and go like, oh, remember how Obama signed into law the right to detain U.S. citizens without charges? Well, we were okay with that under Obama, but now that Donald Trump has these powers, we should try to roll. But none of it happened. There's like a mix of like wokeism, and then CNN told him, oh, he's a Russian spy. And then any idea of having a critical thought just like went out the window.
Gone. That's it. Shout out to J-Dog. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. I love the show. Well, thank you very much. And we also got Westfield the 90 in the building. Welcome to the party with the 499. So they won't learn anything since woke is their religion. Look at Jaguar. Did they not learn anything from Bud Light and the others? What did I miss with Jaguar? We're going to have to circle back. But, of course, every donation comes with a treat for Morty. And we got a new sponsor of the stream. Thank you so very, very much. What, did they come up with a new ad or something? Jaguar. Oh, wait. We'll do Jaguar. Oh, Jesus. Oh, dear Lord. All right, everybody take a breath. Take a second. Let's see. Because they literally were just talking about Bud Light, specifically because of their ad campaign. I have not seen this. I don't know what's in this. Here we go. Nope. What? If I didn't know already that this was a Jaguar ad, I would assume this was either for the new iPhone or for like perfume. Or the new Tool song. Copy nothing, but do exactly what everybody in society has been doing for the last 8 years. I guess not. I guess they didn't learn. And already, my dad had a, most of you guys know, Papa Lutch is a doctor, so I'm not flexing or anything. My car is a fucking central, whatever. But he used to drive a BMW, and then he traded in for a Jaguar. I don't remember which one it was. But even back then, as a kid, not knowing the status of cars, I was like, why'd you get this one? This one looks old-fashioned. I don't like it. And then this is what they're coming up. What does their new cars look like? What is this for? The only brave thing about this ad is to leave the comment section on. Oh my goodness. Hey, shout out to Guam Check for the $2. Thank you, sir. Says swell or swole for my. There we go. Thank you. Let's get this out of the way and treat our boy here. Thank you so very, very much. And look at this. Oh my goodness, Jonathan Keller in the building with the $20. Thank you. Said feed the pup. Minka and Joe can eat a bag of D's. Like, well, let's just try something a little bit different. Let's get them in full view. Yummy. Guys, thank you so very, very much. I really, really do appreciate it. Now, we just started. We're almost halfway there. And if I remember the next lyric of the Bon Jovi song, I would sing it. And it's a disgrace because I'm from Jersey. But we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. There we go. There we go. Welcome, 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 guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. Before we dive back in, though, I do want to see newest Jaguar car. What are they looking like? Do they at least look nice? Okay, I mean, they look nice. They look nice, but like this and this, dude. Like, do this and this match? Like, is it who? Like, what are? Oh, that's not what I want to do. New tab. See, if I was Vosh, I would be like, oh no, my folder just opened up. But see, I'm a normal human being, so I don't keep that stuff on my computer. But yeah, like that and that. One of these things is not like the other. Anyway, yeah, good call, Westfield. And guys, thank you again so very, very much for the donations. Let's dive back in here. And of course, we got to update the banner for our new sponsor. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Idea of having a critical thought just like went out the window.
And it's on both sides, though, because I remember I saw some right wingers. I know some right when far right people who when Biden got elected, they were like, I think we're all just going to end up in FEMA camps. I'm like, isn't it? And I literally went, isn't it just like government contracting? It always takes way longer than you think. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, we're supposed to be in FEMA camps under Obama and under Bush. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's always.
Yeah, goddamn right, Dixon from TSN. Shout out to TSN Skull. If you know, you know. Right, gentlemen? If you know, you know.
Right. It's always like, and then, of course, all the people who predicted FEMA camps for years, we kind of go back and look at their good predictions and they never really get scrutinized for that one. But you're like, yeah, I mean, you got that one pretty wrong.
Sure.
Listen, by the way, maybe we all end up in FEMA camps tomorrow. I'm just saying, at least as of now, that's a pretty serious prediction to make that doesn't come.
I wish this would show that you were responding to this, but when it does that, I'll try to put up the thing right before it. But John said best raid ever. Hey, I think that's me. Dilly dilly to me. Dilly dilly to you. Dilly dilly to everybody. Seriously, you guys really are amazing, and I don't know if it's specifically the raid or it's just good timing or whatever it is, but ever since that raid, I really have seen more growth. And yeah, there's ebbs and flows in any channel. And, October was a little bit of a slow month, but that was out of the ordinary. Ever since then, we've been on a really good trajectory. So I really, really, really got to say a big thank you to you guys. Big shout out to the Shuli Network.
I'm sure.
I think so.
I'd say so.
Look, the frogs are gay, but we're not in FEMA camps. All right, you got one out.
No, they're trans.
Okay.
I'll give you 50%.
Either way, I sucked on a frog. I don't know.
He was something. I'll
He
tell
was
you that
lipstick.
Put a one in the chat if you are not from TSN, but you were here when they raided. That was I did not even know what to do. They just came in and they're dropping super chats and oh, shout out. And I'm like, oh my God. Turns out a bunch of people, when they do this stuff, a bunch of people will get mad. What are you here for? What are you here for? Oh, you missed it, buddy. You missed it. I should have clipped that out. I'm gonna find, if you guys remember what I was talking about, I should have clipped that out. I'm gonna go through. If you guys have at least if you have a general idea of when or what time or what they were talking about on TSN or any of those things, I don't know why I'm just thinking of it now, but I'll go back and look. But if you guys have any idea, I would love to be able to show that to you guys because it was awesome. And it was so unexpected. And oh, you were there, yeah, word up. It was crazy.
He never told me what he identified as.
Yeah.
She identified as. My apologies. I mean, a dead name frogs on this show. That's not what we're about. Oh, by the way, I should mention, of course, Chris, you have a brand new comedy special.
Dixon's on it.
Put out. Tell people about that.
It's called Burn After Saying. I actually filmed it in the heart of libertarian country, New Hampshire, at the Shell, which is a libertarian clubhouse down there. Great audience. And here's it's super fun playing with audiences from place to place, because when I go on the road with you and Rob, I had some jokes that I could do very easily that slammed with your audiences. And then I had to come back to Brooklyn and be like, how can I rework this? And then they did. You just had to change things and add tags. And then it was because your audience knows me. I'd go back on the road sometimes and they'd be like, Chris, you're playing dumb. So now we're mad at you, but now I can get it. So then I had to rework it again.
All right. Let's get to this stuff. Let's get to the stuff. Okay, here we go.
One of the biggest pops I got in there is a joke where I claim to be, where I'm like, I am pro-abortion. And it's one of the biggest pops in the whole half hour. And they were all on board. And this is an entire pro-life crowd. And they're all on board with it. And it was great.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a very interesting thing when you do stand-up comedy. One of the things you realize,
I promise the whole episode is not like a Joe Rogan episode where they're just, sucking each other off about comedy.
is that like you could have like essentially the same joke and it's like not working. It's like
I have a feeling that's what Dixon is going to find.
And then you just find a little way to tweak it. So a different word in there. And then it's like murdering. And you're just like, oh, so that's all it took to give you people permission? Yeah, it's almost like, oh, so now because I just tweaked this, now you have permission to laugh at the exact same idea. The exact same
inflection. It could be an inflection. Yeah. And it's just like, oh, that's weird. It's like, well, it's like,
and it's the same thing with politics, guys. It's the same thing. Where there's a reason that all of a sudden you're seeing all these people, including what the fuck is her name? You just put it here. What the hell is her name? Minka and Joe. Minka. Well, there's a reason that they're like, well, we've got to change things. We instead need to sit down with Donald Trump, because the idea that Trump is just this toxic man that if you get anywhere near him, the world is going to end. That is slowly being stripped away. And again, with that popular vote, dunzo. You cannot hide behind that anymore.
It could be an inflection. And it's just like, oh, that's weird. It's like, well, I found the joke that made, that joke about my brother being mentally handicapped that I tell. I don't tell as much as I used to. But so I found the tag that made that whole joke work. Sweating bullets, bombing my ass off at an audition for like Stand Up New York.
Oh, they have it right here. Shout out to TSN, bro. They got it right here. I searched the Shuli Network Indian Jesus, and they got it right here. I mean, come on. Can we get one more? Oh, wait. They got it right here, right at the top. Dilly. Shout out, guys. They're a little bit of a link address. Put the channel in the chat, guys. Give them a follow. Check them out. They are a little bit of a niche thing, but they have a lot of fun. Check this out. This was 2 months ago. Well, really? So this was on Papa Lutch's birthday. Check this out. I know most of you have seen it, but if you have not,
what I loved about these guys is, not only did they not know what was going on, but they still went along with it. They leaned into it. They weren't afraid. They didn't run away. And they were all very...
I think that's it. Yeah. Acquired taste is a good way.
Very interesting in their own way. And I wanted to bring them on here tonight. So we can say hello and they can see their channel. And here's the thing I want to do with them. I want their channel monetized. I want them to be able to make some money, to get some super chats. I think they got
we'll do a couple of these other people to see how they respond to it. So they did this guy, that guy, Jared.
Puddle chicken. Right. I knew it.
And tricky.
So again, we have 700 subscribers. So this is someone who's not monetized yet. There's 0 likes on the video, and then they're going in, with their 20K subs and just
I don't know where you guys are coming from. Finally,
let them know. Let them know.
I'll come back to your comment when we go back to the podcast.
From your newest, biggest fans.
Let's go.
John Mendez. Shulu the Jew sent us.
Shulu the Jew sent us.
It's so fascinating. This is so much fun, Frog. Let's find another one. Yeah, people.
It's the biggest jacket I've ever seen in my life.
So again, we got 800 subscribers with 3 people watching.
Say hello to Bree and Dane.
Let's do it. Bree watching. Let's go.
You laugh, you lose. We've kind of tried that. We are
send in the chat saying hello.
work. We kind of just end up watching videos.
Yeah, we get in the zone. Well, I think when we did it, we may have been under the influence.
When we get some more people, we are definitely gonna pay it forward.
So that's not fair.
Right. We would like to get you.
Hello, welcome to the stream, Jordan Greer.
Hello.
It was a barbecue restaurant. Yo, what's up? Whoa, what's going on, guys?
I like
whoa, hi, Bree. Hi, Dane. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the stream.
Dane,
I don't know.
Who sent you? Who's your boss?
Who's your daddy?
Who's your
Yes, maybe we want to help them get monetized.
Then you work out? No, does it look like it? Guys, I have lost 20 pounds.
So, TSN guys, is this a like a supercut of a bunch of different streams, or did you guys just like, yo, let's do this, and then I was just the best one?
I'm sweating.
That was cool.
That was cool.
They're having fun, you know. They're doing their thing.
I know.
Controversial.
There's been some crazy comments in here.
So then you get to your boy with the same head tilt. I didn't realize I did that one. Dixon said we go from one to another until we get bored. Well, you ain't getting bored over here, boy.
How about Indian?
So again, we have 8 watching at the time.
Jesus.
I love it.
Let's go.
Very much.
Indian Jesus.
Already in the after party. If you are a member of this channel, you should be in Discord and you should be in the after party. I see Nick in there already.
It does sort
I'm
of look
hoping
like
to
an
see
Indian Jesus.
more of you when I get in there.
But I think this guy's going to understand.
Very, very much.
He's going to be happy.
Whether you were able to.
That should be the game over on whether they freeze.
Thumbs up or thumbs down.
I think he's going to be thrilled.
As long as you are,
Well, we're about to find out.
the video,
I forgot about those
that
rules.
helps just as much as the monetary stuff.
You can see me.
Shout out.
You can see. You can see me trying to talk while I start to notice it.
As much as the monetary stuff. Shout out
There we
to
go.
whoa! Look at we got Trick Taylor, 1983 said, "Lord, I'm the Lord and Savior." What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
What's going on? We
See?
got Carl's Frosted Tips. Welcome to the party. We got Paterno 20 in the building. The Shuli Network. I'm getting keep up. Where we at? I got you all. The Shuli Network. We got Nordic Born. Y'all better be hitting that like button. What's good?
There you go.
4 beers in an hour. How many beers after 2 hours? Two more.
Oh my God! Did he just
Dan
do
Tanner in the
John
building.
Flunk's math?
Welcome.
I think it was kind of like it.
I think so. Not usually, but I think so. We also got Bob's Last Smoke. Welcome. We got some super chats in the building. Shout out to El Diablo. And of course, every donation comes with a treat for Morty. Yummy.
The
Rob
Overlord
Sullivan,
comes through.
Very.
So I actually didn't even realize that the super chat thing wasn't really a part of the raid. And a shout out to the Overlord. Look at the Overlord. Yo, I mean, the Overlord speaks. Jonathan said most shows get pissed. They've done maybe 40 raids, and this is the only one I've come back to and supported and followed on Twitter and truly wrote for. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Shout out to you. And again, I don't have the words. So let's just finish it because I don't have the words. You guys are amazing.
Dixon said, "What's up?" I don't know what Skull is, but shout out to Skull. Let's do it.
See, I knew he'd go with it.
Thank you. Let's get another treat for Morty. He is loving it. I think we might have to keep going. Shout out to Pete.
Because that was we were talking about the after party, so I was ready to be done. I'm like, hey,
Veteran John is.
Yeah.
Well, he was just about to sign off when we showed up.
Thank you for coming through, and thank you for the $2. As Morty very much appreciates. We got Painkiller. Oh, I like the name. So Shuli is our god. We serve TSN. Just roll with it. I will. Thank you.
See?
We got another for the ball.
That dog's going to be looking like a bear. It's going to look like a bear by tomorrow on his lap.
What if they're edibles? If they're like weed edibles?
Wouldn't be his first time.
Ugly. $5 that I got my keychain, and I really feel like my life has turned around. Well, Reverend, that's amazing.
This dude's getting some super chats, man. I love you guys, man. Thank you, everybody.
Island, we got Guillermo, handyman to the stars. So she be running a newsstand. That's my uncle. Come again, please. Thank you.
Of course, again, we get the treat. That is a good question for Morty. You guys are making him so happy. Roll with it. I will. Come on.
To Carl's Frosted Tips.
Shout out to Carl.
Before. That is
Oh, that's amazing.
Welcome.
Oh, and look, we were also covering Dave Smith.
Welcome, and thank you so much. I'm falling behind. Oh, you guys are blessing me like a motherfucker. Thank you so much. Shout out to Dixon Cider. You Rob Saul, your dog.
Clip that, please.
Your dog. I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah, my man. Hey guys, thanks for watching that clip. Hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, don't care. But I do want to tell you, if you want to support, hit the join button down below. Get in there, be a member, check out the archives. There's a lot of great stuff.
Thank you so much for that. Again, I've got to save that. I guess that goes under other appearances. Where is that? Come on. Let's just other appearances. That'll work. Thank you again, guys. I mean, it was even good to relive it. It was good to relive it. Roll with it. I will. Shout out to Dylan Soup in the building. Welcome to the party, sir. Very, very, very good to see you. Like I said, damn, so many regulars from that. Yeah, man. I am so I'm touched that so many of you that's just a normal thing, and the super chats are not a normal part of it, and that you guys bless me so much, and that so many of you do come back. Feeds my ego a little bit, you know what I mean? Thank you again. I don't know how they found me. I have no idea. I guess they just were looking at stuff. Dixon May Know is a special show on TSN. I think they scroll through looking for shows on raid nights. I love it. I absolutely once we get a little bit more once we get a little bit more regulars, and we have people where we know we can do that, because I think the super chat aspect of it is a big part of it too. Obviously we could do raids and stuff like that, but if there's like 12 of us and going in there, then it's not going to be the same thing. And I want it to have that effect. And because it touched me so much that I want to pay it forward. And I've also been following them ever since. It's been awesome. So, all right, let's get back to what Guamtech was saying about this that we're watching now. Said, how much do you want to bet the lefty public image will change overnight if the Don makes a deal with MSNBC and CNN? Posers. I think I'm of two minds, because it could either be that yeah, of course, well, they just start singing the tune of Trump, or they reach that, or they try that. They're definitely going to try that. I really don't know. I could go either way. It really could. And but that is definitely what we need to see. And if that is the case, where they just flip and start trying to get themselves in the fold, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but all that more important to be able to determine, hey, this person is legit, that person is grifting, so on and so forth. Shout out to Guamtech again. Said, Skull Swole. Hey, I love that one. Dilly. And of course, every donation comes with a treat for Morty. Guys, we are more than halfway there with our boy Right Click tapping in. Said, sup, you non-theistic hippies with morals. I think that's just me, right? Me. Guamtech, technically, right? I think I'm the only atheist here, but I'll take it anyway. Thank you. And let's get Morty his treat. Welcome to the party. My master said, yeah, it's true. Stuttering John is also a douchebag. Indeed. But it's a sad state of affairs, but we try, right? We try. Comcast said, I think at least, oh yeah, Nonsense said, it also helps that you are based. I try. I am so glad you guys found me. I am so glad. Guantek said, I think at least the boomers who watch CNN and MSNBC will switch over. Grandma and I will be having a lot more enjoyable political conversations during the holidays. Yeah. I think it is, right? Do we have a poll? Okay, so what is our poll going? 86% of you said no. Legacy media cannot redeem themselves. So let's see. What word did you use? So are you, let's just see, of the makeup right now, are you, or again, would you consider yourself, quote, non-theistic? And the question mark goes in the captions. All right, take a goddamn English class.
And I just was like, look, I told my brother a joke. He laughs at everything. And that made everybody who was not on board with this joke about my brother being mentally handicapped laugh. And I was like, oh, you guys are okay with that. That part that I like, okay.
That's an interesting point. I want to run that back because that's kind of in the vein of what we were talking about. So again, these are two comedians talking about tweaking a joke to make it acceptable if it's an edgy joke, and I'm comparing that to the perspective people have of certain opinions or people in politics. So
that like stand up sweating. I found the tag that made that whole joke work.
He tweaked this. Now you gave you different not working. It's like it, and then you just find a little way to tweak it. So a different word in there, and then it's like murdering, and you're just like, oh, so that's all it took to give you people permission.
Yeah,
like it's almost like, oh, so now because I just tweaked this, now you have permission to laugh at the exact same idea, the exact same
inflection.
100% so far, right?
Like, oh, that's weird. It's like, well, it's like I found the joke that made, you know, that joke about my brother being mentally handicapped that I tell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't tell as much as I used to, but so I found the tag that made that whole joke work. Sweating bullets, bombing my ass off at an audition for like Stand Up New York. And I just was like, look, I told my brother a joke. He laughs at everything. And that made everybody who was not on board with this joke about my brother being mentally handicapped laugh. And I was like, oh, you guys are okay with that.
And so again, I'm saying that just the fact that, oh, other people voted for Trump, so I can stop pretending that I don't know what a woman is. That's exactly the same thing. These people are fearful. They're fearful. And that's exactly what they're going to get into. Some beautifully kind words from Jonathan. Talking to Quantags, I've been trying to catch this show live since. It's the best energy. It makes me feel good. It makes me happy. And I'm a God-fearing, church-going, Christ-worshiping father of 6. Well, I told you, right, Click. I think I'm the only atheist here. But as long as we are here to talk about things that matter and try to understand each other, then we can all get along. So dilly to you. And to all the members while we're at it. Thank you guys for making this possible. I really do appreciate you. Shout out to Dietrich. Welcome to the party. Said, no, I'm pretty sure my mom and the doctors told me that I am atheistic. That's a good one. No, I think he got it. Atheistic. I like it. I like that. I'm starring that. There's a second check. There's a second tag to that. And I'm going to come up with it by the time we're done. But good one. And welcome to the party along with the girl. Aim is in the building. Welcome. All right. Let's dive right back in. Talking about how, the same way one little tag in comedy can make an edgy joke be okay, that one other person being like, oh, Trump is okay, then, oh, okay, I'm allowed to like that.
This joke about my brother being mentally handicapped laugh. And I was like, oh, you guys are okay with that. That part that I like, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. It's an interesting like window into social psychology or something like that, where you're like, oh, okay, I get it. So there's a dance where you have to be allowed to find this funny. There's something very interesting about that.
Yep. And remember when Peter Boghossian was here, he does his street epistemology, and he notices that, well, people will be honest on so many things, but when it comes to these third rail issues like trans, that they will stop and think about, what am I supposed to say, instead of what do I actually think?
And hopefully that is over.
The Bushwick rooms, and which is funny. I always joke about it because I'm from here, and these gentrifiers look at me like I'm a Jersey transplant constantly. And when I do these hipster woke rooms, I have to do 3 minutes of clarification material that I understand that I look like a white guy bully every single big time, and it gets tiring. But like I'm just like I want to work on this next joke. So here's this joke I wrote 5 years ago that only works in your shitty rooms.
Hey, Jonathan. Oh, my goodness. Blessing me. Another $4.99 said, I love Jesus and Indian Jesus. No judgments. That's the world I want to live in. More Jonathan Kellers, please. Thank you so very much. Out sponsoring your goddamn self. Your gosh darn self. Let me respect the faith. All right. Thank you.
To work on this next joke. So here's this joke I wrote 5 years ago that only works in your shitty rooms.
Yeah, I remember seeing like Shane had a lot of that, where it was almost like just who he isn't who the Brooklyn kids want to laugh at.
Yeah.
And so he'd have to have something kind of addressing that, and then kind of like, oh, okay, all right, he gets it. And he's funny. And then, but it is particularly funny in your case because, you know, as somebody who's 41, who's from Brooklyn, it really, like, no, you are Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I'm
a townie.
Yeah, like these kids are the college kids, and you're the townie. That's right. It's like they're like, we don't want to hear that shit in our Brooklyn.
All right, let's get. Remember when I listen to this stuff, I listen to it a lot faster. I want them to get into
like
the actual stuff.
Like
they're talking about, Brooklyn used to be Biggie Smalls, and
Or you might be thinking like some Guido in a wife beater, like, hey, dude, take that over there.
But now it's all hipsters and da 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 da. They got good stuff for real. So.
Dude, I remember during COVID, like at the height of it,
right.
people would be like,
here we go.
They'd be like, old New York is back because like New York got dangerous again.
Dude, for a little while. Like I know, look, you had a baby. It was a different situation.
Oh, baby.
Dude, Dave, I was out. Like once they had tests, I had a few people die in my life, not of COVID. And I looked at my chick and I was like, I'm going outside now, right? Like, it's like I'm getting, because she was like, we can like leave and go stay with my family. I was like, first of all, I'm from New York and my brother's here. I ain't going nowhere. You can leave. And like, I just got real fucking street real quick. And then like all of a sudden they're having boxing matches in Washington Square Park and shit. I was like, this is fire.
All right. That part is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Why would you want to leave?
But when everyone would just say, oh, old New York is back, I'd be like, I don't know. I see a bunch of children scared of the cold. This doesn't seem like old New York to me. I mean, I understand the homeless people are more agitated than ever before, but like,
you just see a guy empty a colostomy bag in the middle of Union Square.
That is kind of old New York, I guess. York, yeah, dude. That is.
Come on, Arizona. Arizona's governor is one of 6 refusing to comply with Trump's immigration policy. Get him out of there! Get him out of there!
For better or for worse, that's where we are. Well, speaking of emptying colostomy bags, there is.
Did somebody drain the swamp?
Well, almost. But
that's a good segue.
I don't know why. I just so beautiful and kind of an amazing moment in American history. But Donald Trump was at the White House today. He might still be there. And he sat down with, believe it or not, a man who claims to be president of the United States of America.
Oh, yeah. This is from 6 days ago.
And here's their interaction. Let's play that, Matt.
Have you guys seen? I have not seen Biden look like this. Ever. I think this is the happiest I've ever seen him.
Make sure you're accommodating what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today.
I'm not seeing it, guys.
Thank you very much. And politics is tough. And it's
what happened? Hold on. We all get that. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. Trump and Biden meeting.
And the president offered up his thoughts, but I'm not going to go any further than that.
President Biden, he wants Trump to know.
Just show me the thing.
And there's a great piece.
Here's that historic moment.
Mr. President,
look at the smile on this man's face.
Congratulations. Thank you. And,
it's like, thank God I'm done with this shit. I don't got to deal with none of it.
Thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much.
That meeting lasting about 2 hours. So what was said behind closed doors? Well, Donald Trump revealed.
Oh, come on. You know what we're looking for. You know what we're looking for. I'm finding this. Joe Biden, smile, Trump meeting, White House. We are finding that picture. I'm on a mission. This is not a bad one, but okay, this is it. Like, of course, look at the smile on this man's face. Does this look like a man who lost anything? This looks like a man who's like, I'm done. Thank God. Yeah, I don't know why they blocked that out there, but
many cases, not a very nice.
Say what you will about that. Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Listen, you say what you will about that clip, but you got to be impressed with Biden's stamina. He was awake for the whole thing.
Donnie, I got gin.
I don't even know what to say about this moment, but one of the things that I find so beautiful about it is that it's so revealing how fake the whole thing is. You know, like it's just so incredibly fake. I mean, here was this guy who, up until he got cooed a couple months ago, was making the argument that the democracy is over if this guy wins.
Yeah.
That this guy, I mean, he may himself have not called him Adolf Hitler, but certainly a lot of people around him did. And he said this was the end of democracy. But now, because the election's over, we
want a peaceful transfer of power to Hitler. That makes sense,
right? He's going to work as hard as he can to make it a smooth transition. Well, why would you do that? Why would you make it a smooth transition if democracy's over?
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like they were lying.
Well, it's also because it's never made. I had an argument with a guy we grew up with like 2 days ago. I literally finally just had to say, dude, you can yell Hitler all you want. It's not making me believe he's Hitler. Yeah. Like, there's so many other things that you can say. And then like now we're arguing because I started arguing about all the checks and balances that would go on, the difference between Germany and like, it's like, okay, do we have the biggest military in the world, or are we rebuilding a military from scratch because we're not allowed to have one? Because that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge difference. Like it's really hard to top down take over something like that without one of those guys finally going like, hey, how about one of us shoot this guy in the fucking head?
Yeah. Oh, look, I know people, by the way, I know people on right wingers too, who love to make this comparison. Someone asked me the other day at an event that I was at, they asked me, they're a big fan. And they asked me, they were like, what do you think of the comparison to current day United States of America and the Weimar Republic? Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm not saying
they're a little bit different, not quite Nazi Germany.
There are no comparisons, but there's some pretty obvious differences that jump out at you. Like America is, despite whatever problems we have, the world empire. Like we run this shit. We are not the
for better or worse, that is a fact.
Biggest losers of the biggest war that ever happened, who are internationally humiliated and stripped of our sovereignty. And as you pointed out, your military.
And again, no thanks to Joe Biden and the liberal establishment trying to get us into these wars on the losing side. But we're still not the losers on the world stage.
Now, is it like it is true that they had like the what's it called? We're blanking on the freaking name, but they had like the cultural Marxists.
You see my ice cream? Come on, man! I need a snack.
They had like some of these like kind of neo-communists who were pushing like transgenderism and some of the woke stuff. But you also have to mix that with hyperinflation and being internationally humiliated, and like none of those characteristics are anywhere remotely close to 2024 USA. So it's just okay. I mean, I guess you could talk about some aspects of things here or there.
Speaking of Sam Harris, this goes back to his argument about the jab. That like, well, hey, if things were really, really different, then things would be really, really different. Yeah, but they're not. They're not different. They're what they are, and they're not what you're saying they are. Sankums to Zelensky. Yes, sir. Thank you for letting us use the. I don't know what that is. That one's over my head. Sorry. I hope you guys get it. I don't.
Okay, I mean, I guess you could talk about some aspects of things here or there. The Frankfurt School, by the way, I don't know why I was blanking on them, but like, it's just like the thing that jumps out at you quickly is like that. It's like, no, this is nowhere near the same situation. And you know
what? Are you're telling me
that America in 2024 is not actually like Nazi Germany. Interesting. Did you say the rockets they launched into Russia yesterday? Oh, gotcha. Yep. Yikes. And I mean, hey, that's why exactly why I'm like, let's not even deal with that, because clearly, Zelensky's playing Call of Duty, and just like Bibi Netanyahu thinks that, oh, America will save me, so let me just do whatever I want. It's exactly the same thing. Again, most of you know that I'm a dog trainer, and a lot of these things come up in relation to that. And there's a dynamic where you have dogs that like are not necessarily great with other dogs. If you have them like on a leash and they're like pulling towards the other dog and you're like holding them back and it's like, whoa, 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 then that is going to likely make a more aggressive interaction than if you, just kind of swiftly just walk up to the other dog. And there's this kind of like, hold me back kind of energy. I'm simplifying it a little bit, but I think the same is happening with both of the major wars that are dominating the news right now, or at least most recently. He said he was a comedian before he was the leader of Ukraine. He just doesn't get that he's not funny. Well, you are, sir.
Well, it's like when they say, January 6th was an insurrection, and you're just kind of like, okay, but like, take me through this.
Well, the nebulous definition of insurrection is an organized attack on a government institution, right? It's just something very simple like that. It's essentially a riot that happens on government property, is an insurrection.
Right.
I remember this. This is a great line of thinking.
But it's not a coup. At the end of a coup, like when you attempt murder, right? At the end of the attempt, that person should have been murdered if you were successful. There was no way, and I know this has been litigated over and over again, but I literally had this argument with people when they use the word coup for that, and I go, okay, let's say they killed every single senator and Mike Pence.
Yeah, let's walk through it. Let's say they were successful.
Would Donald Trump be the president? And they're like, no. And I'm like, then it's not a coup attempt. That's not what a coup attempt is.
Right. I mean, like, look, it's
wait till you see this go. You're gonna love it. You're gonna use it too.
If you're playing a bullshit semantics game. So like if you,
or as I like to call it, semantic obfuscation, taking words that already have meanings and twisting those meanings and usages to make your political message or narrative seem more true or palatable. Insurrection. Convicted criminal.
If you like, this is one of the things I was arguing with your boy James Lindsay about.
That is technically my boy. I was the first one to ever interview him on a podcast. I let the genie out of the bottle.
You sure did. No, but he was doing this thing where basically the argument started because when I was on Tucker Carlson's show last time, or the time before, one of the times I was on Tucker Carlson, I just was saying how stupid it is to call Kamala Harris a communist, and how it's just like, I don't know. I was like, the attack doesn't land.
I agree with this.
He is a Ugandan giant, though, Dave.
That I would never for a second argue with anyone on that. And that attack lands. You call her that, and all of a sudden I'm in. Yeah. And then we just got to find the Undertaker because she's deathly afraid.
Terrified.
But I was just like, look, first off, you sound like my grandpa when you call someone a communist. It doesn't resonate with anyone of this time. And second off, like, she's not a communist in any meaningful way. And then like James Lindsay's kind of like, he's like, no, you don't understand. You haven't read all my books. And actually, dang, they're all a bunch of Maoists and blah, 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 all this. And it's like,
I read first all of all, books. He's still wrong.
Yeah. I read all of his books. First of all,
and again, the argument from Dave here isn't that it's technically wrong. The first premise isn't that it's technically wrong. Yes, he is saying that, but his major criticism of calling Kamala a communist, or any of these people communists, if they're not actually communists, is that it doesn't land in the same way that they were calling us Nazis and all that stuff. It's the same thing. If it's not landing, then you just look bad.
Like his big ace in the hole is that like Dang said something about how we're going to infiltrate the West. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't win you the argument. You have to actually demonstrate how, and no.
Especially when we're out here saying, don't take Trump literally, take him seriously. I'm totally down with that. But if that's the standard that we have, then we can't be like, oh, well, this person one time said a thing that also was like, that's their game. And we're better than that.
Oh, it doesn't count that you have some campus radicals in the 60s who were influenced by Marx. It's like that. What? That doesn't mean the whole. And by the way, if she is a communist, like, this is what I mean about the insurrection semantics game. It's like, okay, if she is a communist, then they're all communists. Then, but like, if you're using, sure, if you want to say that DC, like that the U.S. federal government is fascist, you can make that argument. If you want to make the argument that they're communist, okay, you could make that argument. Sure, you have to be really loose with those terms, but you have to be so loose with those terms that they
stop meaning anything. And that is also a form of semantic obfuscation. Calling everything racist, calling everything transphobic, calling everything Nazi is obfuscating what those words are supposed to be.
They would describe Donald Trump now too. They would describe Barack Obama and John McCain and Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump and this whole system. So again, it loses all its value as an attack. Likewise, if you want to say January 6th was an insurrection, okay, but then the Black Lives Matter riots had like 4 or 5 insurrections, and also the protest while Trump was in office had an insurrection, and also I think the Free Palestine people had an insurrection under Joe Biden. So either we're calling all of this insurrection, which is stupid, or we're calling just this one thing an insurrection, which is dishonest. And so they just want to talk about the one thing and then say it technically meets the definition. It's just, all of it's incredibly weak.
You want to hear a funny way to argue with people about that?
Sure.
Here it is. Here it is, guys. I remember this. This is, you will take this and you will use this and it will be amazing.
Like this. There were 10,000 people in Washington, D.C. on January 6th.
Okay, 10,000 people.
To protest the election, right?
Mm-hmm.
Less than 2,000 entered the Capitol building. That seems like that would be a mostly peaceful protest, doesn't it?
Yep. Yeah, no, that's a great way to do it.
Mic drop! Mostly peaceful protest. That's all it was. And exactly, that is the point. That when you obfuscate these words and you have fire behind you and you say fiery, but mostly peaceful, well, then you open the door for us to say, hey, well, same thing. Same thing. And said, Magnus Hirschfeld, a gay Jewish German, opened the first sexual research center in Berlin a century ago, including trans-affirming care and basically perversion research, hence book burning. I mean, it's not a new thing. This type of perversion, to use your word, is not a new thing. It's just repackaged, and for people who don't have, what's the word I'm looking for? A frame of reference of how, how this propaganda and rhetoric and just general politicking works. That's why it continues to work. History may not repeat itself, but it sure as shit rhymes.
Yeah, mostly peaceful protest, doesn't it?
Yep. Yeah. No, that's a great way to do it.
By definition of the word mostly, meaning more than 51%.
And it's even more than that, because of those 2,000,
or even overwhelmingly, maybe your protests were mostly peaceful. We were overwhelmingly peaceful.
People who entered, like, only a handful of them entered violently.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know exactly the percentages, but we have on videotape cops pulling barricades aside. We have cops guiding people around through the building.
Well, if you had to put a percentage on it, if you just off the, everything that you know, everything that you've seen, everything that you've thought, not looking up and doing calculations, but if you had to throw out a number, what percentage of the people, of those 10,000 people that were there as part of the protest, whether it was a part of the riot or not, all of the people included, what percentage of those people would you say were actually committing the crime of rioting? Give me a number. Give me a percentage. 1%, 5%, 3%, 10%, 20%? What do you think?
Pulling barricades aside. We have cops guiding people around through the building. And so all of those people, at least, you can't even really claim that they, I'm sorry.
And remember, we saw the, what's his name? The QAnon shaman. QAnon shaman. Police. Escort. Is this it? Okay.
Let's move on to an important segment with January 6th.
What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment? To this day, there is dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol.
And said 0. Okay, come on, Em. We saw that they broke windows and shit. That's rioting.
But according to our review of the internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside. Virtually every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape. The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him. They acted as his tour guides. Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down.
And I remember all of the, the left-wing cope was, well, that's just one guy. Yeah, but like that's the guy that you made it seem like he was the worst one. Nobody else? Give me a percentage. Give me a percentage. 2%, 0%, more or less? Well, it can't be less than 0, but you know what I mean?
Those people, at least, you can't even really claim that they, I'm sorry, but it is the only reasonable that for any citizen, if a cop guides you somewhere, it is reasonable for you to assume I'm legally allowed to be here. Like, I don't know, if I'm in any situation and the cop goes, hey, this road's closed, but you can go down this street. And then I go down that street and then someone goes, you're under arrest for going down that street. That's just not right. I'm like, no, but the guy with the badge and a gun said this was the legal option. So you take all of those people out and now you've got, a handful of people who broke some windows.
Yeah.
This is just, and again,
I'm kind of with I'm with Ray Click. I think there's clearly we saw videos of Ray Epps whispering into the guy's ear and him ripping down the barrier, so it can't be 0%. And then we saw a bunch of those people who followed. That's technically, there was a barrier, and they are part of the crowd that go. So I think 2% is a solid number. I think 2% is a solid number. And so again, I say, overwhelmingly peaceful protest, unlike the Summer of Love.
Again, to your broader point, which is really the most important point there, is that, as I always said to everyone, like the same thing you were saying. It's like, okay, so step 1 is Donald Trump saying, go peacefully protest in this area. Step 85 is Donald Trump is now installed again for a second term, even though he lost the election. Help me flush this out a little bit.
Yeah, where do we
help me flush this out? Like let's say they get their,
didn't he lose the election? But still,
hands on Mike Pence. They stopped the certification of the ballots. Okay, now what's next?
Yeah,
because it's so quick before you just go you don't even make it to the National Guard.
Jonathan, so can we include the government officials posing as rioters? Fucking well, yeah. So let's say yes, because then that will be the most charitable way that even including the agent provocateurs, then it only rises to the 2%. Then we have a stronger argument. Whereas if we were to say, well, it's 1.6% because some of them were government officials. Now we get into, well, how do you know what the government officials? Concede that point. All right, we're even going to include the government officials. That still doesn't hurt our argument that it is an overwhelmingly peaceful protest. Yeah, and it's definitely a good thought. But I think again, in terms of optics and making the arguments, if it were going to make or break your argument that the Ray Epps of the situation, if that were to make or break it and be like, well, it's 48%. If we don't include the government officials. So, technically it's mostly peaceful, but they were technically there. We don't need that. Fine. We'll throw the government officials in there. It's still single digits. So who cares?
It's so quick before you just go you don't even make it to the National Guard. You never even get to the National Guard. There's no conceivable pathway there. DC Metro Police swarm the place and take these guys out. But let's just say you fight off DC, you fight off the Capitol Police. Then you got to deal with DC Police. Then you got to deal with the National Guard. You're going to take them out. Like the final step here is the military is deployed. You know what I'm saying? Take me through the scenario.
Nah, QAnon shaman got it though.
Where Donald Trump is installed as president.
Cells. We would know if there were sleeper cells around the country to continue this. That's how a coup works.
Right.
It's just.
Yeah, they all just man, shucks, we messed up. Guess that's it. I guess we'll try to vote again. Okay, dude.
It's all so ridiculous. But I do think just this moment with Biden, and Trump kind of says it there. where he goes, politics is an ugly business, but everything's like nice today. But it's almost like what he's saying and what Joe Biden is kind of conceding here is that, like, yeah, we made all this shit up. I don't know. It was an election. So
And said definitively the only coordination for common intent to cause disruption would be the provocateurs, not civilians. Yeah, fair. Absolutely. I agree. But that still doesn't absolve people of breaking the law because they saw somebody else who happened to be a government official doing it. Like, rioting is not okay. So just because you see, oh, they're already rioting, that doesn't open the door for you to be like, well, I guess it's okay now. So I completely agree with you. But that's why it works. Because people are followers. Well, they're doing it. I guess we can do it. Instead of being like, oh, no, that probably isn't going to help our cause. And as exactly what they're explaining, no matter what we do here, Trump is not going to be the president. So maybe we should just take the L and go home and try again, which is what most of us did. And it worked. But yeah, I agree with you. But I still think that is, that has to be part of the calculus.
Is that like, yeah, we made all this shit up. I don't know. It was an election. So we thought, we didn't really have anything to motivate people.
It was a debate.
Yeah, it's that. It's like, oh, okay. And they've all kind of like
nobody
revealed
noticed,
this.
huh?
Like,
all right, cool.
And look, we all know that obviously during any election, yeah, people are going to bullshit. They're not going to be 100% truthful. They're going to try to damage their opponent. But it does really say something about like how unhinged the leadership in our country is. And
to be calling him Hitler,
I think you see this filter down to regular people, that it's like, like the comment you made that in the debate thing, that was about calling Joe Biden a bigot. Yeah. And she called him a racist at their first debate, and then is happy to take his VP slot, and then is happy to take his endorsement for president. And
it's almost like she doesn't stand for anything except whatever is politically convenient in the moment.
It's the same thing here. It's like, oh, but you'll actually, I understand you're just trying to work people up. But there is, and I'm never one of the people who's like tone policing, but there certainly is something where everybody from all the halls of power are saying democracy's over. And then this guy wins, and now you have regular people freaking out because they think democracy's over.
Yeah. And I agree with him. I think that's a good way to walk the line. That, like, I'm not trying to say you shouldn't be politicking in the sense that you're calling your opponent Hitler. I don't think it's a good idea. I'm not going to tell you, that should be banned. But this is what happens. This is what happens. That's why all the left wingers are bleeding subscribers and followers and all that stuff, because you either bought into this shit and people are realizing, oh, I got tricked by you who also got tricked. So I don't need to be listening to you. Or even worse, oh, I got tricked by you because you're fucking lying to me just like they are. It's not that complicated.
It's truly dangerous. For all those people you talk about, like our old friends who you argue with, or just any like liberal friend of yours who you may know who you've argued with, like, it does. Yes, they're being insane, but they get to sit there and say, like, well, I just listened to the president of the United States and the head of the Department of Homeland Security and the CIA director all tell me the same thing. And so, like, it's like they're given permission in a way to be mentally ill that is not helpful.
Well, it's like I said,
and again, this seems to be the through line of this week. That we have to remember that the people who are melting down, the people who are going crazy, the people who are doing things to their children, all of this stuff, we have to remember that at the end of the day, they are still people. And they still have what they believe are rational reasons to do what they're doing. And they didn't get them from nowhere. So, I mean, if it's a matter of people thinking that you can save your child who's depressed by cutting their junk off, and you have a depressed child, and you want to cut their junk off, well, that's not the kid's fault. Certainly not the kid's fault. And it's not even the parents' fault, as I mean, yes, there's personal responsibility, but we can see why they have that misinterpretation of reality. People always talk about how culture war issues are just a distraction, so we fight each other. Like, oh, I kind of, but only if you fight each other.
The culture war issues do fucking matter as long as you point your ire at the right people. Shout out to Mobius Prime. Welcome to the party. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. And said they didn't know they were government officials, first of all. And secondly, they believe they were being attacked. You can hear them in the videos. Distressed and confused. I find zero fault. Okay. I mean, I honestly, I didn't look that far into it because I saw clips of people rioting, and I saw most of the people weren't doing that. So that's as far as I feel like I need to make the argument that it's not this insurrection that you're trying to make it out to be. So I'll take your word for it. I still don't necessarily know if I could say zero, but I'll take your word for it.
Given permission in a way to be mentally ill that is not helpful.
Well, it's like I said this to you the other day when we were at the comedy club, though. It's like people were talking to me about why all these people joined up with Trump. Your Tulsi, Elon, even Rogan or RK. And
it's almost like because it's rational and people are just acting rationally.
It's like, well, let's look what the Democratic machine has done to all of these people in the last 5 years. Even more. Tulsi got called by the most powerful Democrat in the country a Russian asset while she was still in the military, and nothing happened.
Well, imagine, and by the way, just to because I want you to continue on this, but just to go down that, Tulsi, Hillary Clinton voted for the war in Iraq. Tulsi went there.
Yeah,
she served. She
stitched people up in the war that you started.
The war that you voted for, which you now admit was a mistake.
Yeah,
she went there, and
so you sent them there, and she fought there, and then and Tulsi's the traitor. Bobby says CNN and MSNBC are not really mainstream anymore. It's best to call them legacy media. Well, exactly. That's the point of that. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're saying here. And so they threw gas to provoke people to the Capitol. It was insane. I'd feel like a sitting duck. And again, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I just, from what I saw, and again, did not look into it too deeply, it did seem like saying there was no rioting at all. That didn't seem like a worthwhile thing to, that didn't seem like a hill to die on. It didn't seem like a hill to die on. And maybe I'm wrong about that. And okay. But again, the larger discussion is whether or not it was an insurrection, whether or not it was incited by Donald Trump, and whether it was a coup, and all of those things. And those things, like because again, if there were zero citizen rioters, then that doesn't change my perspective on how the government way overreached and caused caused all of this stuff, and there may or may not have been certain rioters, and then the media used that to, you know what I mean, that the story doesn't really change that much. So I'm not necessarily trying to argue with you. I'm just saying, from my perspective, I'm not willing to try to make it seem like no, it was totally fine. I think optics wise that is not really a smart argument to make. But again, maybe I'm wrong.
The war that you voted for, which you now admit was a mistake.
Yeah.
She went there, and she's not, I think technically she's not a combat veteran, but she was in a medical unit in Iraq during the height of the fighting. Like someone who really saw the costs of war up close and personal.
I mean, you can argue more so. You can argue that somebody working in a medical unit sees the cost of war significantly more than somebody. You can make that argument. I've never been in combat, but you can obviously make the argument. Those guys get downtime. All you're doing is stitching up the people getting blown apart.
Yes, like it's really a brutal job where you're very firsthand seat for the actual consequences of this war. And
shout out to the veterans. I ain't got the balls for that shit. Didn't go didn't go down the wrong pipe. I'm just acting weird. I swear. I promise.
And so you're telling me the person who voted for this war based off lies, and then you have the person who went there and said, sir, yes, sir, I will go make this sacrifice for my country. And then person A turns around and calls that person a traitor. Like who's the fucking
national television?
Here? Yeah.
National television, zero repercussions. I believe Tulsi was still technically in the National Guard.
Yep.
Yes,
she was still active.
I mean, like
she was active duty. Yes,
like this is insane to do this, and then it's like,
and they all bought it,
then you got RFK. He met the metrics for Secret Service protection. And then they used semantics to deny it to him. His father got
semantic obfuscation. And a real quick side quest here. I was listening to Bill Burr's podcast in the car today, and he was talking about, the food and how, it's not even about, waking up at 5 a.m. to work out, it's all this food, but nobody cares about that. I'm like, bro, have you heard of RFK? I know your wife is black, but wake up, buddy. Wake up. Am said, I wouldn't classify it as a riot is my point, nor insurrection. It has nothing to do with smart or politically correct. You have to put yourself in their shoes at that point. The narrative is all wrong. And again, I am agreeing with you. That being said, the narrative is still what the narrative is. And so for the same reason that I don't want Alex Jones to be the press secretary is the same reason that I'm not going to die on the hill that there was absolutely nothing wrong that happened on it was a peaceful protest on January 6th. Same exact reason. Because it's going to fall on deaf ears, and there's more that can be done. There's more that can convince people of the bigger picture than zeroing in on that. So again, I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just saying this is why I don't know enough to either say, oh yeah, you are right, or no, this is wrong because of that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
For Secret Service protection. And then they used semantics to deny it to him. His father got shot in the head running for president. I wonder why he signed up with the other side. Rogan, literally, we know all the stuff, the lies on Rogan. I don't have to tell your audience what that is. But like, look at these people over and over again, and you're wondering like why they have gone to this other thing. It's like because you're f***ing them over.
It's like we need a Joe Rogan of the left. You had a Joe Rogan of the left. We need an RFK of the left. You had an RFK of the left. We need an Elon Musk of the left. We need a Tulsi Gabbard on the left. You did. That's the point. That's the point. Guys, if you do me a huge favor and just hit that like button, that helps out so very much. It's free, it's easy, and it would make me love you forever. Thank you so very, very much.
Why they have gone to this other thing. It's like because you're f***ing them over. You're lucky Bernie Sanders isn't hanging out with Donald Trump.
Yep.
Like,
no, that's right.
That's a good point. What was it? Let's see. There was something. There was a show. I want to say it was Piers Morgan, but I could be wrong. Bernie Sanders, Piers. No. Was it this? 10 days ago? What was this?
Senator Bernie Sanders issued a scathing statement after the vice president's loss in what he called a disastrous campaign, saying, quote,
I think this is what I'm looking for. Let's go. Yeah.
It should keep Bernie. It's no great surprise that a Democratic Party which has abandoned working class people would find that the working class has abandoned them. And independent Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont joins me now. Senator Sanders, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here on this Sunday after Election Day. Let's start right there. Your criticism incredibly direct. You say you think the Democratic Party...
Put a one in the chat if you did not see this. Shout out to Taco Baco. Says Bernie Sanders knows how to criticize his peers without betraying his values. Interesting. Okay. Fair enough. All right. We'll see how...
He has, quote, abandoned the working class. How
right.
exactly do you think Democrats have abandoned the working class, Senator?
Look, the working people of this country
I did not see that.
Are extremely angry. They have a right to be angry. In the richest country in the history of the world, today, the people on top are doing phenomenally well, while 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and millions of families worry that their kids are actually going to have a lower standard of living than they do. You got the top 1% owning more wealth than the bottom 90%. We're the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care for all of our people. 25% of our seniors are trying to live on $15,000 a year or less. We have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth. And the gap between the people on top and everybody else is getting wider and wider. And then, Kristen, on top of all of that, we got a corrupt campaign finance system, which allows billionaires to buy elections. So if you're an average worker out there, you're saying, hey, I'm working longer and longer hours. going nowhere in a hurry, worried about my kids, and yet the people on top have never had it so good. Where is the Democratic Party? Are they prepared to stand up to these powerful corporate interests, raise the minimum wage, fight for health care for all people? Make sure that all of our kids get the quality education that they need. Expand Social Security.
So,
are they prepared to?
So I think, what Taco was saying, Bernie Sanders knows how to criticize his peers without betraying his values. And the reason that I was like, I don't really know, because his values as somebody who's been in the party for 50 years are not the same as the values of the Democratic Party today. So it would make sense that he, just like Tulsi and Rogan and Elon and all these people, would go over to the MAGA side, not because they are betraying their values, but because their values, rather the party has betrayed, the party is the one that's betrayed their values. Hey, shout out to Bobius. That's 8 out of 10, guys. 2 more, and you got me on the floor. Eat it, bro. What are you doing? Eat it. There you go. There you go. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much, sir. We also got Rowdy Ruff. Said, I really wish they would understand that raising the minimum wage only causes prices to go up. Bingo. Exactly. Big shout out to our boy here, Dave Smith, who said, I don't remember if this was his, it might have been Scott Horton quote, but this is where I heard it, that remember that minimum wage is not a platform on which poor people stand. It is a barrier which they must overcome. It is a barrier which they must overcome. If the minimum wage is $15 and your work is only worth $3, then you go broke and die. Instead, you can work for $3 an hour until your work is worth more than $3 an hour. It is a barrier that poor people have to get over. Welcome to the party, Rowdy Ruff. Like I said, this is what the campaign should have been run on. Not trying to convince the average American that the economy is actually great and that it's a good thing to be friends with Liz Cheney. No argument there. No argument there. And said that's not because of a free market. It's because of powerful people exploiting loopholes and buying blind eyes. Bingo. Yep. You got it.
Lucky Bernie Sanders isn't hanging out with Donald Trump.
Yep.
Like,
no, that's right. And ultimately, because Bernie Sanders
wait.
have the stones to stand.
I got this one, dude. From Sonny Houston.
Hey, Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement,
that seems to be how the law works these days,
to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism.
As should all court cases.
That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
Okay, that's the end of the story then, right? Because if we're going to say that, well, Donald Trump is a convicted felon, they said it. They said he's a convicted felon. Well, okay, they also said that no charges were being brought. So, come on, bro.
We'll be right back.
That was, oh. I bet that was a sad day. Sad day for her. And so they want to try to slide us into an ism. Yep. Look how painful it is for her. I have to tell the truth.
Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great...
Shut up, bitch! All right. Taco, so that's why he stepped down from the House the day before the findings were released. I don't know what that means. Who can stand Sonny?
No, that's right. And ultimately, because Bernie's saying,
no, he stepped down from the House to be AG.
And doesn't actually have the stones to stand up to anything, which has been a characteristic of his entire career. But yeah, I mean, No, that's one of the reasons why I'm just really happy, even despite not liking some of these appointments. I'm so happy that Kamala Harris lost. Like she just needed to lose. And you think about it, as the whole corporate media is going like, oh, I guess we need our own Joe Rogan now. Like they just figured out that he has the biggest show. It's like, yeah, he was a Bernie supporter, and then you guys tried to ruin him. You tried to like go. You tried to like humiliate him nationally, and he's just better at this than you. And so, so he jujitsu'd you up and made you all look terrible. But like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you lost him. Hey,
yeah, not even any charges. Not even any charges. But again, they don't have any principles. They don't. Well, we believe in the institutions of our justice system. So if the justice system says something, then we go by that. Okay, fair enough. I think that's a little naive and silly, but fair enough. At least you have the principle that I trust these. I trust this institution. But when you only trust it when it helps you, then it shows that you have no principles. It's just that simple. Taco said a man being investigated for sex trafficking minors stepped down to be AG the day before the investigation was to be released. Sounds like a favor from Trump. Well, I mean, sure. Either way, the court found nothing. What is it that what are you trying to imply? Sound like a conspiracy theorist. The court said no charges. I thought that was the standard we were using. Is Donald Trump not a convicted felon now? Because, well, it's kind of shady the way that it happened. Pick one. Pick one. Do you trust the court or do you not trust the court? Shout out to Westfield. Hey. Thank you so very much. Said, as a lifelong Democrat, I'm just stunned how my party shifted to embrace censorship, elites, cancel culture, and lawlessness. Thank God they lost. Agreed, sir. Great, sir. Let's get our boy his treat. Look how cute he is. Thank you so very much. Hey, we got our boy King Nirvana in the building. Welcome to the party. Yeah, of course. And I couldn't find the video on YouTube, but I did. I just had a video from him. Actually, when we go back in the video, I'm going to see if I can find it. But the older millennial was talking about how the Kate or the woman who was accusing him. It was from way long ago, and we could talk about the convenience of when he's getting power, but he was already in the what was it, the Senate or the House. He was already in the House. He was already a lawyer. He was already up there. So if it was like, okay, this guy is terrible, but I just want to go on with my life, but I have to say something to make sure that he's not in power, then that's when that would have been. But that didn't happen. You know what did happen? We met our goal. We met our swole goal. Funkmaster General came through with the $20 and said, get some. And get some I will. Of course, we still got to get our treat for Morty. What did I say? What was the goal? 15? Oh, Jesus. All right, it's time for the swole stream. Let's do it. Actually, is this the best one? Let's just make sure real quick. All right, let's do this. All right, 15 push-ups. Swole Stream crew, if you are on the team, let's do this. Otherwise, just watch me bulk up. All right. Just trying to make sure. Actually, I can do push-ups a lot faster. All right, 15, baby. Here we go. All right. One tag, Tony, elbows in. We'll do a little bit harder. Ready? All right, here we go. Oh, that's harder. 1, 2, 3, 4.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 1 for good luck, and 1 to say, fuck you to unwanted foe who had to outdo me yesterday. Let's go! Swole stream! Swole stream! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo! That was a lot, man. I don't know. That's how we do it, baby. That's how we bulk me up. And if you are part of the swole team, we can swole together. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very, very much, guys. You worked as a team, and I really, really appreciate it. Let's see what I missed here. Jonathan said, Funkmaster is the man, of course, always the man indeed. Let's see. Guantic said, I'm glad I made it back for swole time. Pay yourselves, bitches. Squats, planks, push-ups. Do it. Although looks confused, he's still just adjusting to the swole streams. He's like, wait, I'm not the only person that gets money for or gets treats for stuff. Hey, and there he is. Oh, god damn it. Nope. Fuck you, bitch! Get off my dick! Let's go! But of course, a treat for morning. There you go, bud. Oh, it's the rain. It's raining. That's why he's acting weird. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, very, very, very much appreciated. Thank you. Can't do 10 push-ups. Well, here's how you start. Just start with me. Do as many as you can. And soon enough, you'll be able to do 10 push-ups. Beautiful, guys. Thank you. All right. What did I miss? Diving back in. We got that one. Okay. AM said, accusations are just that. What incentive would the acting AG have to not want Gates to be confirmed? Or the DOJ? Or the FBI? I'm sure a lawyer is stupid enough to pay teens for stuff like that on Venmo. Yeah, everything that we've seen has shown us that Matt Gaetz is not very intelligent. So, stupid. Definitely makes sense that he would be that stupid. Matthew says, stepping down wouldn't make legitimate charges go away. Yeah, right? Exactly. That went right over my head. Like, oh, you stepped down from the House. Now the crime that you committed no longer counts. What? That's not how that works. You don't just get to abuse a kid and then just quit your job and make it go away. Great point. Taco said, no charges means no formal investigation. Wrong. They just said they did the formal investigation after the accusations, and no charges came from that investigation. The House was doing their own investigation. It was, yeah. So what do you, okay. Okay. Well, cry about it then. I don't know what to tell you. Again, it's just, if they didn't have double standards, they would have no standards. The court said there was no charges. So now you're saying that it's reasonable to not go along with what the court says. I'm just trying to go by your rules. You tell me what the rules are, and I'll go by it. I'll say 10 more to make it even 100 for the day. After party. Oh, wait. After party. If you join and come to the after party, we gonna make it 100 for the day. We gonna make it 100 for the day. Yeah, I was saying, if they were legit, wouldn't fix it. Stupid. That doesn't make any sense.
Glumtag said, seriously, good job, Lutch. And anyone that joins for Swole Stream, we got to stay on top of it during winter, or it's going to be just that much harder in the spring. Yep. I would like to be able to do a few push-ups and not need 10 minutes to catch my breath. That would help. And I mean, we're not going to call anybody out. If you would like to join, then you do it with me. If not, then watch me, do what I do. And then we get back into it.
Made you all look terrible, but like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you lost him. Hey, maybe that wasn't a wise move. Maybe you don't go, hey, you see the most influential man in the United States of America? We're going to make an example out of him. Yeah. All right. Well, you failed. And now look what you get.
We're working up to that. I got to start small. Otherwise, I can't do too much stuff. So I got to start small. I'll continue to be, I will continue to be creeper out that a close friend of Epstein nominate. Oh, you're pathetic, bro. You're pathetic. Cry harder. Cope and
out of him. All right.
Cope.
Well, you
and
failed.
Steed.
And now look what you get.
It would be like if they called Walter Cronkite yellow.
Yeah, that's right. No, but I mean, I know personally, and I'm not saying like I have some inside information anyone else doesn't. Everybody watched it play out. But yeah, no question, like he took that personally. And that had an effect on him, that it was like, oh, yo, CNN is lying about me and blatantly lying.
They're still lying. So you think, all right, the lies have stopped working, but then it does. Like, this is the headline. I was just talking about the shit. World's 10 richest people got a record $64 billion richer from Trump's reelection. It's not from Trump's reelection. The stock market hit an all-time high, as it did 3 months earlier when this same headline would have read, the stock market hits all-time high. Why would you vote for Donald Trump? We're not fucking stupid. Stop thinking the average American is fucking stupid. They didn't need you to parade out stupid Tim Walz. You should have got Josh Shapiro.
There's no lie. You just don't understand your double standards. That's it. You just have double standards. What you're bringing up legitimate things, but all of these things were deemed conspiracy theory when it came to Trump. So you don't get the benefit of having these things now when it's convenient to you, when it was convenient to us, and then you just brush it off.
Oh, and you might have won Pennsylvania. The guy actually did stuff for working class people there by eliminating that college education requirement for 90% of state jobs. You put that guy up there, and what were you worried? You were worried he was a Jew? That was the thing you were worried about. The party that's not racist is worried this guy's what is it?
Well, I think honestly, it's they were worried that he would outshine her. I mean,
he's a better speaker.
I mean, I don't agree with that. I mean, maybe that was an aspect of it, but I really do think the Palestine stuff and the Jewish stuff was a big factor, if not the only reason. But I think if she had somebody who could speak well, and even if they did outshine her, then people were looking for any excuse not to vote for Trump. And so you could have easily gotten a lot of people to be like, okay, let's get Kamala in, and then we'll, impeach her, and then Josh Shapiro could be the president or whatever. But they didn't. Make it make sense.
They were worried that.
Yes. Did you commit crimes? Is anybody above the law? Clinton, both Clintons, Obama, both the Obamas, the Bushes, all of them. See, only you assume that we're doing the same thing you're doing. But we just follow our principles. Matthew said the House did their investigation. Yeah, but that's not real enough for reasons, because I don't like it. The House did their investigation. They're about to release the report. Pretty sure if they found anything, they would have released it anyway, or it would be leaked. For sure it would. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anwar al-Awlaki, an American citizen, targeted and drone bombed.
Worried this guy's what is it?
Well, I think honestly, it's they were worried that he would outshine her. I mean,
he's a better speaker. He's a significantly better speaker.
Now that I hear it again, I actually changed my mind. I think Dave is right that they did think he would outshine her and not see that even her being outshined would have helped the campaign. At least there would have been something. Instead, we got Tampon Tim.
I think that's a big part of it, and that he has ambitions and stuff like that. But yeah, dude, I mean, it's we were talking about this in the green room out in Philly the other day, but it's like, it's almost like they were just incapable of adjusting to the facts on the ground, and that's particularly devastating when there's been basically a revolution in this industry. And so, it's like, somebody is like in 1780, they're just like, I have a plan to get us away from the British. And you're like, oh, you didn't hear? Like, there's been a revolution.
Kamala, you know that, like, the speeches that you give with those weird like, they can see that.
Not a colony of the Brits anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they just can't like adjust. And so you'd have this dynamic where, as you watch, all the time. I mean, I see, especially since I just did Rogan, this is always the case in the days after you do Rogan, there'll be like these clips that are like going back, but you'll see just like a clip that I'm not even tagged in, but I just like found it like on Twitter because someone tags me on it, of me with 3 million views on it, because it was just a clip.
Real quick, guys, if you want to take some of my content and make your own clip channel and do whatever, like not even add any commentary, I'm totally fine with that. Just tag me. Just tag me so people know who I am, and eventually maybe we'll come back to the channel.
Of the Rogan experience, and then this went viral in some other little world. And so what happens is when you have something like, just for example, Tony Hinchcliffe doing what any American, was literally anybody who watches that video, it's not,
or this is, just been to Washington Heights.
Yeah, right, or something like that. But immediately this is a country that grew up on Don Rickles. What you're watching. There's no like there's no confusion about what's going on here, right? But then the Tony clips, and they're shared so many different times. And like, this version has 3 million, this version has 15 million, this version has 7 million, this version only has 600,000, but then this one has another 3 million. It's like the clip is viewed so much. The numbers are so high on this side, and the numbers for the corporate media are so down here that when people in the corporate media, they haven't even adjusted for the fact that so many people who watch CNN's take on that also watch the video.
Or see the CNN clip not on CNN. So they're still getting what CNN offers without having to tune in.
And they're like looking at the video just like, oh, you're lying to me. You're saying speaker at Trump rally said Puerto Ricans are garbage. But what I see is a roast comic just machine gun spraying everybody. And like, the Puerto Ricans got one shot, the Jews got one, the Muslims got one, his mother got one. And you're just like, oh,
that was a big right before the next Kill Tony that he did. He was like, I even targeted my mother. But they, nothing about that, just the Puerto Ricans.
They didn't adjust to the fact that people don't like suspect they're lying. They can watch that they're you're lying to me. This is not what happened.
That's like a lie.
He didn't say very fine people on both sides. He didn't have a Nazi rally. Tony Hinchcliffe is a comedian. Like, there's so many like that. And again, they tried to tell us Joe Biden wasn't senile. Like,
dude,
it's just insane.
I think what the main thing, this must have sunk Kamala so badly when she goes,
hey, shout out to Guam. Indie Film. Welcome to the party. And that is our boy, Dave Smith, of course. Welcome to the party, sir.
The main thing, this must have
we got Dave Smith and Chris Faga.
Sunk Kamala so badly when she goes, when they asked her, I think it was on The View, they asked her, what would you have done differently in the last 4 years?
Nothing. Just nothing. Everything that's been going on, I'm for hope and change and turning the page, but I'm going to do exactly everything that has destroyed this country over the last 4 years.
And she was like, nothing I can think of. It's like, well, now we know you're lying. There's never, I guarantee you, I have never met a vice president of the United States, but there is no way that every single vice president has been sitting down the hall going, man, if I was that motherfucker, you know what I would be fucking doing? That we'd be running this whole fucking, that's what everybody does to their direct boss.
Especially a woman.
All the time.
Imagine just sitting there every day, just going, nailed it again, Joe.
Yep.
Perfect.
I mean, it definitely was, again, I think it was definitely the nail in the coffin, but I don't think there was ever life to that campaign, but I don't know. I mean, I think the from the beginning, not even trying to, do a dunk or anything from the beginning that, well, I'm from a middle class family. And the even before she was the nominee or the inserted person, the unburdened by what has been, she's just exactly as Dave said, a pre-internet era politician, and not an impressive one at that. No, of course not. There's only one indie film. There's only one indie film here. That's this man right here. You're talking about Guam Tech. Guam Tech says she didn't. Indie film said she didn't say she wouldn't do anything different once she said it once. She said it multiple times. Yep. Taco said Biden not stepping down poisoned any campaign. And then the answer was the death blow. Agreed. So, we got a poll. Do you think Biden stayed in to screw the Democrats? Do you think Biden stayed, or let's just say ran? Well, because he knew, we all knew what was good. So let's say, would it have been the spirit behind this question, which I normally don't tell you guys because I am curious. If Biden had not ran and they were able to put somebody else up, would Trump have lost? Okay, if do you think if Biden never ran for 2024, Dems could have won? Let's just that's too open because of course they could have won. We don't know who the fuck it could have been. If Biden never ran for 24, Kamala could have won. Okay, so if she was the elected nominee, not saying she would be, but if she was, and she had the entire time to run a full campaign, could she have won? I come from a middle class. It's so bad. It's so bad. Hey, shout out to Smith of 45. Hey, CP with the 199. Thank you so very, very much, and welcome to the party. No question, no comment, just pure love of the game. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Any film said if RFK Jr. or Tulsi was the candidate, then they would have had a chance against Trump. The problem was the Democratic machine did not want them. They were as big a threat to them as Trump is. Bingo. Yup. Again, threat to democracy means threat to the way of life where we're in control. So you're goddamn right. Trump is a threat to their democracy. Am said if she had beliefs that were acceptable, it wouldn't have tanked. It's because the entire campaign and candidates were ran by Svengali. Fair enough. Yeah. If they had an actual primary and she somehow won, if she had won the primary, then what do we think? So Taco Baco says yes. But it seems like everybody else is like, nah. Gontek said, good God, it'll be so funny if the first female president is conservative. I think it was it Jank? I don't know. It was some lefty who was saying, I'm pretty sure the first female president is going to be conservative. I think that the idea of a female leader just is more congruent with the idea of a conservative woman versus a liberal woman. Like, I'm not making a value judgment on that. I'm just saying, I think for the American people, being a leader and a woman it fits better. I don't know. That's a half-baked thought, but do you guys kind of see where I'm going with that? Reddy Ralph said, no, she wasn't a good candidate. That's why they forced her in. They wanted to burn one and not burn an actual candidate, but who would have been a good candidate. Funk said they'll pretend it never happened like they did with Kellyanne Conway. Yup. All right, that Megan.
Imagine just sitting there every day, just going, nailed it again, Joe. Yep. Perfect. Wouldn't have changed a thing. Well, it's also what was remarkable about it was, and part of it is that and this is ultimately why she didn't do Rogan, and this is why she didn't do more interviews and things like that, is that she was so guarded. She was always so worried that you would like figure out what she was really about,
which is nothing. Yep. He said a snowball rolling down a hill covered in snow would not get smaller if you gave it more hill. Now replace the word snow with shit and you have her campaign. Yep. And said she's stupid, obnoxious, absent-minded, terrible communicator, hypocrite, and inconsistent. Agreed. I don't see any way that you could think like that's the weirdest thing, that they're like, she's so well qualified. Tell me you're in a cult without telling me you're in a cult. Clearly, the organic support for Trump has been there. You would have to show somebody who is legitimately not only a better on policy, but somebody who is better at the populism game than Trump. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. The best thing the Democrats could have done was let Trump actually win the 2020 election, and then he would have been in his lame duck period. We would have been looking forward to somebody else, likely a Democrat. But now, 4 more years.
Always so worried that you would like figure out what she was really about. And I think partially because she's not really about anything other than getting power. But it was, look, this was, that question really damaged her. And it was in the most friendly atmosphere that was designed to get her over and was one of the most predictable questions. I mean, like,
yeah, right? Like, how did you not think that was coming? Guantek said Biden wasn't a good candidate either. There were still enough people who would vote against Trump and not for the Dems. The machine reeked of desperation from the first debate, but I think it would have been a super close race if they didn't jump the shark. I think it would have been a lot closer. And so if they had done a primary and people actually voted for her, then they would have had a little bit more allegiance to her to begin with. Then they would have been open to pick somebody like Shapiro, or at least float out the idea of Shapiro to see if the fact that he was Jewish was going to be a no-go. As it is, they didn't have time for that, and so they just made the guess, and Timmy Boy didn't help out. One Foe said if it was 8 years straight of Trump, much more of the swamp could have stayed hidden. Under Biden, they got way too greedy in going after Trump. Bingo. Yep, this is worst case scenario if you're a Democrat. Worst case scenario. And said woke women rise up rank due to DEI, affirmative action, feminism, etc., and probably don't last a very long time unless they invested in the mission. Conservative women work hard. Yup. But even if we take a step back and say that there is a democratic woman who is smart and charismatic and has good ideas, at least to what her party thinks, I still think that on the national stage and the world stage, it's just easier to bridge that gap between the perceptions on men and women when you have more conservative policies. Shout out to TV Viewerski. Welcome, agreeing with AMP. Good to see you, buddy.
And to get her over, and was one of the most predictable questions. I mean, like, if me and you were sitting down here and we just worked for a campaign or something like that, and you were like, right away, I go, hey, here's the only information I'm going to give you just to start with your campaign. Your candidate is the sitting vice president of a unpopular one-term administration, and he's pulled out of the running, and now she's going to run for president. Right away, within the first 5 minutes of us brainstorming, we'd be like, well, we better have an answer to this question.
It's as simple as this. I would have had more planes to fly people out of Afghanistan.
That's a fantastic fucking answer. Can you imagine how difficult it would be for anybody to be like,
that's a bad thing to say. That would have definitely set her apart. That would have shown that she's not Biden, other than the fact that she physically isn't Biden. That is brilliant. That is brilliant.
Simple as this. I would have had more planes to fly people out of Afghanistan. That's it. Would have moved on. You wouldn't have had to mention the economy, which was very bad on them. You take an issue that everybody agrees, like me and you both agree we should have left Afghanistan, but that was bad. And it's still probably for the best that we left, right? Like I think we both agree with that.
Sure.
But if you did, so you appease even the two of us who don't like you, who and agree that we should be gone, but that was a mess. You just go, we should have had more people on the ground ready to transport our allies in Afghanistan out of Afghanistan so that they were not in fear of their lives by the Taliban. Very simple. One thing, everybody remembers those images. And I just, by the way, didn't have that coming in here, just thought of that.
Yeah, and it's better than what she said. Yeah. I mean, like and I'm telling you, if me and you had 20 minutes to brainstorm about this, we could come up with like an excellent answer to that question. It's like it's just, so right, there's, she essentially just deserved to lose. By the way, did you hear Nancy Pelosi on the New York Times podcast?
No, I would love to.
So I've never listened to this podcast before. I
hate her. There's very few people I hate
what
more
is
than
it?
this.
There was one thing that we covered from the New York Times podcast. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, of course, this is what the New York Times podcast is like.
Literally the Nancy Pelosi.
Well, so she essentially, we had been speculating about this. I think it was something when Manafort was on Tucker Carlson. I thought he said something about this, but there had been.
My husband was attacked by a hammer.
And look, there was a lot of speculation about what exactly happened with Joe Biden because the timeline.
They did so great. Is that what she says?
So
come on.
Shady. And he didn't come out and address the nation until days after that letter.
Oh, wait, does he not show it? I figured they were going to show it. Oh, wait, did they try to show it and then not show it? Okay. So what are we doing? It was Nancy. All right, hold on.
But exactly something about Pelosi. Well, so she essentially, we had been speculating about this. I think it was something when Manafort was on Tucker Carlson. I thought he said something about this, but there had been, there was a lot of speculation about what exactly happened with Joe Biden because the timeline was so shady. And he didn't come out and address the nation until days after that letter.
Let's see. Okay, let's just see what we find here. Does anybody have any good search term for this specifically? Nancy Pelosi. Let's just go. Let's just see what we got. Let's see what we got. Fetterman.
If you go right now to the New York Post website, the lead story is all about Nancy Pelosi. Miranda Devine has written a great op-ed. Nancy Pelosi is finished. No one deserves more blame for the Dems' $1 billion electoral collapse than her. Keep in mind, she's the one who stabbed Joe Biden in the chest, and essentially he had to walk the plank. So
in the chest, more like the back.
She is the reason Kamala Harris was the nominee, and she is the reason, according to so many people, that they really stunk up the place this election.
Pelosi told the New York Times that President Biden should have dropped his re-election bid earlier, and that if he had, Democrats might have had the opportunity to run an open primary, and that led to this.
With who? With who?
Headline. Axios headline says, "Scoop: House Dems sick of Pelosi." And one senior House Democrat that was interviewed says, "quote: She needs to take a seat."
Yeah, right. By the way, how disrespectful it is for the sitting speaker.
Slow down, Democrats.
Keith Jeffries. He's the one who should be front and center. He's the one who should be giving explanations, excuses, and setting up.
That literally is not as big of a smile as when he was sitting with Trump. Insane.
Had been posed. It was a very strange way for a president.
Got syphilis in a nursing home. That's like.
Damn. Said I'm sure there are. There's some definitely, but after this election, I think a lot will. What are we talking about? I'm sure some definitely, but after this election, I think a lot will. Think back, like remember in 2024 we almost had a Marxist president who can't define women and use pronouns. Yeah, I definitely I definitely don't think people are going to look positively on the campaign. Was he though? Was he though? According to who? All the polls that were really wrong?
I think what happened with his brain, at least.
It's quite possible. But it's just very bizarre. The whole thing was very bizarre that a sitting president announces he's not seeking re-election after swearing that he was a couple weeks before the convention. He's pulling out, and that wouldn't warrant.
Well, a couple of days. I think it was a couple of days the last time he said, "I'm not going anywhere. God himself is going to have to take me out." Gone.
And a national address to the American people. That it would
weird.
That's very bizarre already.
Weird.
I don't care whatever excuses you give me about COVID or syphilis. That's very shady. But so I remember Mark Halperin. So on Friday, he ended up pulling out of the race on the Sunday. And on the Friday beforehand, even though Biden was saying, the George Clooney piece had already been written, and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi had already met with Joe Biden, and they were already freezing like hundreds of millions of dollars. The donors were pulling out because they wanted a new candidate after the debate, the disastrous debate performance. So Mark Halperin reports on Friday that his sources in the White House are telling him that Joe Biden is going to pull out this weekend. The letter is already being drafted, and that he's going to throw it to an open primary, and they're going to have a contested, convention.
But they didn't do that.
So at the time when he reports this, Joe Biden is still saying he's in the race up till Sunday. On the Sunday morning shows, Joe Biden surrogates are going out and saying, why are we even still talking about this? Joe Biden's in the race. He's made it clear. He's the candidate. We beat him last time. We're going to beat him again this time. A couple hours later, this letter comes out. Now, this right away gave a lot of credibility to Mark Halperin's reporting, because not only did he predict that he'd be out this weekend, but he said the letter is being drafted. He predicted the way in which he would pull out of it.
Yeah, but he also said open primary. So, it
was going to be a letter. And so it was all of that.
Do you think Jill Biden held his hand while he pointed at the letters?
He did not know what the fuck was going to happen. Actually, that's a good poll. Do you think Joe Biden knew? Do you think Biden knew he dropped out before the letter was released? Do people think that? Oh man. Sad.
But was all of that?
Do you think Jill Biden held his hand while he pointed at the letters?
Who the hell knows? I don't believe he wrote it. I'm not even sure he was aware of any of this. I don't know if
nope. Hey, shout out to Westfield 90 again. With the 499. Thank you so much. And of course, we got a fatty one. A treat for Morty. Thank you so very, very much, sir. I gotta do some counting. Make sure we're all good. We got 5. Thank you. We are still with Jonathan at 24, right? Okay, cool. Wait, 22. I'm bad at math. 2. 20. Okay. All right. Cool. We are good. Thank you, sir. Very, very much appreciated.
Not even sure he was aware of any of this. I don't know if so what's interesting about this, right, is that in the letter, the only part of Mark Halperin's reporting that was wrong was that he did end up endorsing Kamala Harris. But interestingly enough,
and that there was going to be an open primary. And Wonderful said, do you think Joe Biden knew? No is the answer. Well said. Any Film said Biden didn't write the resignation letter, which is why it was not on presidential stationery. It was on Joe Biden stationery. If it was on presidential stationery, I think it would be a federal felony. Interesting. Am said, I heard Biden endorse Kamala as an FU for the George Clooney-led coup. Very, very possible.
Funkmaster General said Trump is inevitable. No one they could muster would have beat him. I mean, yeah, I really don't know. Again, like put up a name. Put up a name. Who do we think could possibly have been that person? Taco said, I think he wrote it because the Dems didn't want Kamala. Then why did he drop out?
Oh, what?
Why did if that's true, then why wouldn't he just stay in the race? How is the only reason that Kamala got in there was because he got out of the race. If he didn't want Kamala, I think he wrote it because the Dems didn't want Kamala. Oh, you're saying you're agreeing with Amp here, essentially saying he did write it to make the Dems have Kamala because that's a bad thing. Is that what you're? Am I getting you right? I mean, I could see it. Obviously we don't know for sure. They wanted Joe Biden, but an open primary. Well, that sure as shit didn't happen. Hey, we got Garrett Grant in the building. Welcome to the party. Gifting a membership to our boy, Black Salami TV. Couldn't think of a better person to get that membership. Black Salami TV. Make sure you join the Discord, brother. You are now a member and have full access to the after party and everything else. Thank you so very, very much. You guys are awesome. Yeah, Funk says they forced him out. Kamala was his fuck you. I think so. And that's exactly what they're about to talk about.
Reporting that was wrong was that he did end up endorsing Kamala Harris. But interestingly enough, not in that letter. It wasn't in that letter. And it was like,
which again speaks to the reason, like as Taco was saying, they no, not that one. Where he said, I think he wrote it because the Dems didn't want Kamala. So if that was the case and he wrote it, and he was writing it so that they get Kamala, why would he not endorse Kamala in the letter? That would be the most surefire way to say, I'm out. I'm endorsing Kamala. What are you going to do? By just dipping out, if it was that that he actually did dip out, then he's leaving it open. There could be a primary. They could just pick somebody. Whatever. It's the endorsement. And so if you're saying he did the endorsement, why wouldn't he have put it in the letter? That screams to me that he didn't read the letter. TV said, I'm trying very hard to not believe the Trump time travel theory. I mean, there was another thing that I don't think is directly connected to that theory, but is also in one of these like predicting the future type deals. That there, somebody will know what I'm talking about. If you guys can point me in a direction or know what the fuck I'm talking about, this would really help. But somebody somewhere at some point, way long ago, said that 39 days after this huge event, the world was going to end or whatever. And the event was Joe Rogan interviewing Donald Trump. And this is long before JRE was big. This was long before. Let's see. Okay, let's see. We can find something. 39 days after Joe Rogan interviews Donald Trump. Prediction. Okay, we got something. Podcast. No. Let's do 39. 30. Okay. So, YouTuber Keemstar on Sunday claimed that Weebot software developed in 1997 once predicted that President-elect Donald Trump in 97 that President-elect Donald Trump's election win in 2016 The Republican, featuring on the Joe Rogan podcast, and also a UFO alien war. So far, 2 of the bot's 3 predictions have turned out to be true. Times now, according to Keemstar, the Weebot was developed by Cliff High and could start and could collect data to predict stocks. In 2009, again, still long before all of this, it predicted Trump featuring on a Joe Rogan podcast, adding that there will be a UFO war 39 days after his appearance, which is December 3rd, 2024. So I don't know what to do with that, but like, there's some weird shit going on. That's all I know. I want the Post said they should have ran Tulsi earlier on, but they did. They just knocked her out. Again, I was willing to vote for her in 2016, but you know they forced her out because she went too hard on Kamala. Funkmaster said they forced him out. Kamala was his fuck you. Agreed. Yeah, they didn't want Kamala, but that's why he endorsed her. They wanted Joe, but not the open primary. I think I got that one. Guamtech said, could be wrong, but I thought Tulsi left the Dems before they could even try to run her. They wouldn't have to, though. They blacklisted her after the first time she ran. Before. What do you mean? What? You're saying after the first time she ran, but before they could try to run her. What? That don't make no sense. TV said, according to T4, I don't know what that is. T4? There are, or the Trump time towers are there. There are multiple Mike Pences, one of which is Chuck Schumer's wife. What? Just look at her! Chuck Schumer wife. That's not how you spell that. Look at it! Just look at it! Oh, the horror! Oh, good. Finally, they give me a big picture. Oh, good Lord! Mike Pence, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Pence. I mean, let's get a smile here. Related? The world may never know. Yeah, it was to announce, and it wasn't in the yeah, there you go. Hey, shout out to Most Mark, the man of steel. Welcome to the party. Yeah, they are done with the mainstream media. Lots of them. Memo said Trump is an obvious history buff in the very least. Indeed. And said in 1888, a man named Ingerson Lockwood wrote a book called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, where a 10-year-old boy named Baron Trump, who has a mentor named Dunn, who is a rich man who lives on 5th Avenue in New York City. He and Dunn traveled to Russia to find a portal to a magical underground world. It's almost like that's exactly what the fuck is happening. Yep. We also got our boy Rhett in action. Welcome. Knee surgery. Hey, man. Good luck with that, brother. Yummy. All right. Quamtech said, here's a question. Would Biden have done Joe Rogan? Nope. With gummy smiles. Yeah, right.
Harris, but interestingly enough, not in that letter. It wasn't in that letter. And it was like 30 minutes later, he sent a tweet, or someone sent a tweet from Joe Biden's account that said, I fully endorse Kamala Harris. And what they're saying now is that this was his middle finger to all of them. That he's like, oh, you're going to push me out, fine. But I'm going to saddle you with the worst candidate who can't possibly beat Donald Trump.
And that's why it makes perfect sense. Okay, of course, I don't have the evidence, the sources to prove this, but logic and reason would tell us that the most reasonable conclusion here is that they pushed him out, which is why Kamala wasn't in the initial letter, because they wanted to either have a primary or install somebody else. And then he was like, this was right around the time where he fucking wore the MAGA hat too. And he was just like, oh, fuck all of you. And then you see him sitting with Trump and he's fucking cheesing. The best day he's had in the last 5 years.
Now, the other thing that is interesting that's come out since then is that evidently they knew how bad this thing was going to go.
But she beat Trump in that debate. She won the debate.
Is this the whole book? Oh, that is wild. But yeah, a real book. Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. Shout out to Amb. I will drop that here. You guys check it out. It is a rabbit hole. Venmo said, why is this poll a poll? Biden has given obvious cues that he didn't know until the press release. Well, because other people are saying elsewhere. Otherwise. Brain fart. People are saying otherwise. So I put it up to a vote. And clearly it's not, we have some of the other polls were 80% and 90%. This is 60, 64, 35. Just saying. Biden might have had a chance if he smokes a blunt with Rogan. I hate to say it, but that would have warmed me up to the guy. I wouldn't have voted for him. But no, Mr. President, don't worry. The werewolf isn't. Oh, it's like mean dude. It's like corn pop. Any film said Kamala beat Trump in the debate. I don't think she answered a single question. Right. But what are the debates about? Optics. He looked worse than expected. She looked better than expected. Therefore, she wins. Taco said Biden's going to die soon. What does that have to do with tariffs? Yeah, I got there eventually. Right. So the thought of Biden not even knowing his own dropout is so funny to me. Yep. No, sir. It is not. It is not. One opposed to the Bidens won't be sending Christmas letters to all their old money political families this year. Nope. Hey, they played the game already. They're good. They're done. They're done. Like, all right, we played and we won. We're out. Deuces.
Go.
But she beat Trump in that debate. She won the debate. They just couldn't
yet
capitalize.
He did a terrible.
No, I think the Trump's win is the major factor that will prevent the civil war. Trump 2.0. Oh, hell yeah.
Job in the debate. He had a very, very bad night. And it, it was close enough, but close is a win for her. So like I'd agree with you that that was her night. She was the winner of that night.
Now, since when did Biden give a fuck what happened to the country?
But evidently, before Joe Biden dropped out, their internal polling, which is kind of interesting to see how much better their internal polling is than the polls that the rest of us have access
Talk, you listening?
To. Okay. But their internal polling had Donald Trump winning 400 electoral votes. Like they knew that not only did they know, so she actually did better than what their internal polling was saying. And I think that kind of makes sense. For all her flaws as a candidate, you look at Joe Biden and you're like, dude, you just can't run this.
Yeah, the people were saying, so TV Viersky said that would end Biden just to mess up Trump's 45-47 hats because that would make him 48. People were literally saying that Biden should step down and have Kamala be the first female president. If I was a woman, that would infuriate me. That would infuriate me. Yeah, just give it to her. I mean, I get that she's already just been given everything. But, like, the first female president, you're just going to give that away to some fucking whore that doesn't know how to do anything?
Candidate.
Nah.
You look at Joe Biden and you're like, dude, you just can't run this. This isn't a functioning adult human being. Yeah. But it does show you something that even in the face of that, he didn't want to pull out. And so they're blaming him. I mean, really, they all deserve blame. Like Nancy Pelosi's.
Hold on. Wait. I feel like this is the opposite of what you were saying. I feel like you were saying that the polls were saying that she was, or rather, Biden was going to get 400. We're looking. Oh, okay. My bad. I misread. My bad. Mea culpa.
Loser. Beta.
I'm a loser, beta. I misread. I was. Oh, my bad, Bubs. I forgot about you. I thought you were. I thought you were saying the other way around. Maybe you are right, sir. Watch was wrong. What an idiot. Oh, I almost said the F word again. Yeah. Where are we? Menmo said, I'm still iffy on Ratcliffe. I've wargamed multiple scenarios. Yeah, I mean, nothing is for sure. All of these people are politicians, and any of these people could, crash out and just go for more power than they have. So it's politics. Ain't nobody safe. One of those said Trump identifies as a woman. She is the first female president. Would we like that? Would you specifically like? That's the word I'm using. Would you like if Trump socially trans to become first woman president? That's an interesting. I'm very curious. I have no idea what you guys are going to say to this. Am said, honestly, do it. It'll endure a woman. It'll ensure a woman doesn't come close for a good while. TV Viewerski said, I think Carter could take by Jimmy Carter. I think you're right.
Beta.
That's a myth. Right. So I thought you said. I don't even know what that word is. Funk said if he steps down before January 20, it should go straight to Trump. That trick would have worked in mid-October, but not now. That's not how it works, though. Like, he's president-elect, and technically, until inauguration, we use that, but he's not technically anything. So if he died or if he stepped down, then Kamala becomes the president. End of story. I'm saying the first female president being handed the position would have completely destroyed the feminist message. Or would it? It's hard to say these days. Yep. Hey, we got the Dinkus Nose in the building. Welcome to the party. Good to see ya. Red says, like, I'm down. I'd like it, but only because it'd be funny as hell. Minmo said, I personally would love if Trump trolled the trans community by identifying as a purple penguin every other Tuesday, as I do. That would be good. Guamtech with the correct comment here. Faking your transes is so 2024. By 2025, that'll be old news. All right, let's finish this up.
And so they're blaming him. I mean, really, they all deserve blame. Like Nancy Pelosi's trying to throw him under the bus, but they all deserve blame because it's like you all pretended.
What did Pelosi say? What was her exact words?
I'd have to go back and pull it up to her exact words, but she was basically saying that like he should have done the right thing earlier. He should have dropped out of the race and given her more time. Mm-hmm. The problem is that you guys all should have allowed for a real primary to happen. You all shouldn't have fucking gaslit the whole country about how he wasn't senile and he was sharp as a tack behind closed doors.
Sharp as a tack. That's the best I've ever seen him.
It's on all of you.
There was a primary happening, right? You had three candidates running in a primary against Joe Biden. You had Marianne Williamson. You had RFK. What was the guy's name? Dean. I always go to say
exactly right. Exactly.
Dean Edwards, but that's the psychic, right?
Dean Edwards is a comedian.
He was a comedian, but he was also the psychic from back in the day.
Okay. No, I know who you're talking about.
No, that's John Edwards. You fucking moron.
I
don't know why I called him a fucking moron. John Edwards. Right. Now you're making me fucking second guess myself. Jonathan Edwards. Unless they're talking about No, who was the cold reading guy on TV? John Edward. Isn't that what I said? Isn't that what I just said? John Edward. What are they saying? They're saying Dean Edward.
Biden. You had Marianne Williamson. You had RFK. What was the guy's name? Dean.
Mm-hmm.
I always go to say Dean Edwards, but that's the psychic, right?
Dean Edwards is a comedian.
No, John. Okay, all right, whatever.
He was a comedian, but he was also the psychic from back in the day.
Okay, no, I know who you're talking about.
Dean Phillips.
That's right. That's right.
So it's like you had a primary. It's like, well, you had it ready to go.
It's
you had a primary to prop up Biden. But who knows? Dude, I have the feeling that like this was kind of maybe they would have picked somebody that wasn't Kamala, and maybe his
there you go. Thank you. I knew it.
Tweet did that. But like I think it was always the plan to not have a primary and just appoint somebody new at the convention, because that's the old way. Like primaries have only existed, national primaries have only existed for less than 100 years, right?
That's the other thing, to just go up to females and be like, oh my God, you're passing so well. Like, no, I'm a woman. No, I know. Seriously, like for real, you are a woman. You go, girl.
Right.
So it's like I think they were going to always do that, but I think Trump getting shot sped it up.
Yeah, well, that was when Biden really had to get out, because he had so here's Nancy Pelosi's exact quote. She said, had the president gotten out sooner, there may have been other candidates in the race.
There's three.
The anticipation was that if the president were to step aside, that there would be an open primary. And as I say, Kamala may have, I think she would have done well in that and been stronger going forward. But we don't know that didn't happen. So
guys, our poll is at 50-50. We got 15 people here and only 10 votes. You got to break the 50-50 tie. Would you like if Trump socially trans to become the first woman president? Come on.
So
you cannot not have an opinion on that. You cannot not have an opinion on that.
Both Biden and Kamala Harris under the bus after this loss. Just really classy move by Nancy Pelosi.
I mean, rockin' tits though.
She can't. You know what? Can't sue you for slander on that one.
The heavies.
Yeah, it really is just something. By the way, in other news from the election fallout, and I really particularly love this. We got what we were all looking for coming out of this big election day, which was an update on the future of Don Lemon. We were all very concerned about what he would do. How do we process all of this information? Where can we find Don Lemon's opinion?
Well, if you are part of the Discord, then you would know that I have been seeing Don Lemon live on TikTok every day. Every day. The man was on CNN, and now he's doing TikTok lives. Now, maybe you don't really understand the level of depravity that one must find to decide that a TikTok live is the best way to make my money. Now, if he did a TikTok live just because, hey, that's one thing. That's one thing. But he does it every day. This is his job now. Rhett gets it. Listen to the Zoomer. The Zoomer gets it. If you're on TikTok, then, you know, the lives are only for successful people or people who are just, hi, thanks for the Galaxy Red in action. Oh, Guamtag, thank you for the heart. Like, hey, I mean, that's all. He's not talking about the news. Technically, it is better reach than CNN. Assuming people click on the fucking thing. Do TikTokers even know who Don Lemon really is? I don't know. I think they just see a random black guy with glasses just doing a TikTok live, just sitting. It's not like, a set or anything. It's literally like, let's see if we can find it. Let's see if we can find it here. Hey, look what we got. Our boy, Indie Film, with the $25. Let's give him a double there. Let's give him a double. Thank you so very, very much, sir. And by 2 cents, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Actually, I'll keep you both in there since that's a. I realized that they, if it's a straight dollar amount, I forget which one is which, but one of them is Android, and if you see something 99, then it's on Android, or vice versa. So we'll keep you both in there since they were the options. So thank you, gentlemen, both. I really, really, really do appreciate that. Let's give a big shout out to Indie Film and Jonathan for co-sponsoring the stream. Very, very, very much appreciated.
How do we process all of this information? Where can we find Don Lemon's opinion? Is the question I want answers to, and I finally got them from the horse's mouth. Here is Don Lemon.
Hi everyone. I have loved connecting with all of you on.
I don't know why they do this
on Twitter and then on X.
You can just
for
play the
all
video.
Of these years, but it's time for me to leave the platform. I once believed that it was a place for honest debate and discussion, transparency and free speech, but I now feel it does not serve that purpose. In addition, starting this Friday, November 15th. X is implementing new terms of service, which among other things states that, quote, all disputes be brought exclusively in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas or state courts located in Tarrant County, Texas, end quote. The full terms of service can be found on my written statement or on the X website. Now, as the Washington Post recently reported on X's decision to change the terms, this, quote, ensures that such lawsuits will be heard in courthouses that are a hub for conservatives, which experts say could make it easier for X to shield itself from litigation and punish critics.
How dare they? How dare they want to shield themselves from litigation?
That speaks for itself. You can
that speaks for itself. They should want to get sued.
You can find me on YouTube at The Don Lemon Show.
Oh, we will definitely do that. All right, everybody guess. Everybody guess. Everybody guess. How many subscribers does the Don Lemon Show have? Nope, that's not what I want. There we go. I need some answers. Oh, interesting. Okay. TV said 25K. Glomtech said 20K. Going up to 50K. Dix Insider said 111. I want to vote. Said 1 in 2,000. Funkmaster said 5. Well, I would like you guys to realize the power of a name. 286,000 subscribers. And some of you are saying, "Oh, those are empty. Those are just empty views." But then we go down his main. We go. He just did Candace. Oh, he didn't just. Okay, we'll go to most recent. So, okay, 11K, 8K views. Still trying to go on Gates. Okay, this is a little better when he does that stuff. So I mean, not terrible, not as bad as I thought, but not great. Yeah, 20K real people, mostly bots for sure. But if you look at he was on with Candace. That's got almost 1 million. Elon's got 2 million. Of course, that was the first one. These were both, I believe, these were both on X. And then Sam Harris. But again, if we see, So you can see that these are, they're in a studio. They're, they've got branding. They got all that stuff. So let's see. No. All right. Let's go to TikTok.
Hello? Yes.
If he's live right now, I'll be so fucking happy. No. I want to see one of his previous lives. All right. But I mean, the point is,
He's literally, oh wait, where is it? He's literally just gone on and be like, give me a galaxy. I mean, it's not that bad, but like that's the level of TikTok streaming. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as being on YouTube. It's not the same thing as being on Rumble or Kick, or it's certainly not the same thing as being on TV. And it's just sad. It's just sad. And yeah, it's hate watchers. It's hate watchers and bots. Which one? You know that specific lady? I don't know who that lady is. But Mo said, I wonder what countries these in Europe these celebrities are moving to that can be extorted that don't extradite fleeing U.S. criminals. Well, there's definitely some out there. I think Romania is good as far as Andrew Tate, but you know, he got in trouble over there.
I think that speaks for itself. You can find me on YouTube at The Don Lemon Show, or on TikTok and Facebook at Don Lemon, and on Instagram and Blue Sky at Don Lemon Official.
Blue Sky.
I hope you will join me there.
And on Grindr as Dirty Lemonade Golden Showers.
We will not be joining you there, Don Lemon.
No,
we will not. I think this is.
Wait, did she leave the country? Where did she move to?
I think it's interesting for several reasons. Number one, like, oh yeah, they want to. What a scandal that Twitter would rather be in a legal jurisdiction where they can, quote, shield themselves from liability. Like, yes. In other words, that where the state can't crack down on them for not censoring speech.
They're also based in Texas. It would make sense that they would want to litigate their things in Texas where they live.
100%.
Yeah, but it speaks for itself. Okay, it speaks for itself. Any film said Tom Hanks said he was going to move to Italy coincidentally when Epstein was in prison, and then decided not to when Epstein was no longer breathing. Plot twist! He's living on the island. Did they? I don't know. I stopped following him. I don't give a shit anymore.
Sense that they would want to litigate their things in Texas where they live.
100%.
Shut up, brother.
But like you can see what's really going on here is that, yeah, like, you know, for all the people who said that Twitter isn't real life, you know, that was always like the slogan. It's like, which it is and it isn't.
It's the least real life of the platforms. Doesn't mean it's not real life. The internet is real life now.
It absolutely is. Like, to say that, like, I'm not going to entertain that. Guamzak said John Lemon is the kind of guy to do one of those NBC TikTok streams where he just says the same thing for every reaction that was happening a while back. God, that shit was creepy. Except that, like, yeah, it's not that. It's not as bad. We're being facetious here, but it's literally just him just talking, and he doesn't have anything to say. And so it's just him hoping that somebody is going to you know, scroll by, see his face. Oh, that's Don Lemon. I wonder what he's up to. Oh yeah, I'll give him a galaxy. Okay, I'm done. Just a constant stream of those people. And unfortunately on TikTok, they're there. Stupid is, stupid does. You're gonna stay relevant, right? Anything to stay relevant.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, you know what's really not real life is CNN.
Oh, yeah.
CNN isn't real life. And so Don Lemon now comes out into the Wild West after he gets canned from CNN, and he notices, like, he can't post anything without being ratioed, and just everyone telling him how much we hate him. And so he's going to retreat back to an area where the conversation is controlled, or at least more controlled than it is here. But it is, I do think, at least as of right now, I think the most interesting thing about this moment and Trump's reelection is that the state propaganda apparatus has been shattered. And that the fact that Donald Trump could be launched into the White House by Rogan and Theo Vaughn and Patrick Bet-David and all these guys, there's this new landscape. And, you know, while they're asking the question over at CNN and MSNBC of like, well, how do we build our own Joe Rogan? Because that's really what they want to do. You kind of notice that it's like, look,
you can't, because you did. And you destroyed it. Bugmaster, so what else do you think he's qualified to do besides yammering into a camera? You think he's qualified to yammer into a camera? As somebody who is an aspiring yammerer into cameraing for a living, I take offense to this. It's not as easy as it looks.
I just make it look easy because I'm fucking amazing. Behaves at CNN is where facts go to die. True.
Trump to make cloning legal in this country. That's my first. That's the first thing.
Yeah, I mean, you might need that. I mean, look, I love the examples of, so you have on one hand you have Tucker Carlson, and then you have Don Lemon. I believe they were fired on the same day. I could be wrong about that. But
Really? Tucker and Don were fired on the same day. That is a case study if there ever was one. But we ended our poll. Would you like if Trump socially transitioned to become the first woman president? And I am very, very, very happy to say that a good 60% of you said no. I want to cheer for that woman. I want to. That is a real accomplishment. I don't play these identity politics like that, but being the first woman to be the president of the United States is a big fucking deal. I would like that honor to go to somebody who deserves it. Now, Trump's gonna be great. I hope. But he's not a woman. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? You also have a skill you can call back on if you have to. I mean, it's just different versions of talking. But yeah, I mean, I would absolutely love to see Tulsi be the first American president. I would absolutely vote for her. And that's what I want to see. I want to see somebody deserve the things that they get. That simple.
It was within the same week.
It was, yeah. I think it was the same day. Go double check me on that. But so you have Don, and then you just watch Tucker go into this world and thrive.
Yep.
Become bigger than he ever was
Just
at Fox
blow
News. And then you watch Don Lemon go from CNN into this world and just die 1,000 Don Lemon deaths. And part of the thing here, which I find so interesting, is that it's like, look, however you feel about Tucker Carlson, I happen to love the guy, but whatever opinions people have about him, people have strong opinions one way or the other.
Close his mouth.
Yeah,
I know that's your friend. I know that's your friend. I wish he would close his mouth.
I'll get the message to him. But the point is that he has something to say.
Yes.
Whether you agree or not, he's got something to say.
Exactly. And Don Lemon does not.
A lot of it is really great. Don Lemon has nothing to say. That's essentially the problem. Yeah, well,
the drug is being at CNN. Like,
yes.
you get what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, they were both filed April 2023.
Yeah.
Same month. I don't know if that was same day. Comtech said, as awesome as Trump winning is, we can't take it away from the people actively turning away from the propaganda machine. I'm genuinely surprised it happened that fast. Thanks, Disney and Bud Light. Absolutely agreed. We, the fact that people are waking up is the deciding factor here. The fact that people are willing to question the narrative is the story. And like we were, Guantek is absolutely right. We were already going to vote for Trump. I mean, I don't know if you want to count me in there. I think I've been grandfathered in as somebody who's even though I wasn't ever Trumper, but maybe you want to count me as an ever Trumper, and then you can pat me on the back, and this applies to me too. But either way, the willingness for people to question themselves and question what they thought they knew is huge. Definitely huge. And no question. Funkmaster doesn't like Tulsi. Well, I'm not endorsing her. I very much need to see what she does over these next 4 years, and really over the next year, because I'm not convinced. I'm optimistic, and I have no reason to think that she's going to, be full of shit. But I don't really know for sure yet. So we'll see.
Yeah.
He had an audience with the richest man in the world who just gave him a bunch of money to move to his platform, and he was so addicted to just being in that seat of power at CNN that he just was like, I'm just going to shank this on purpose. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just an addiction. It's an addiction.
Yes. No, I think.
Put one in the chat if you did not see any clips from the Don Lemon Elon thing. Oh, we got hungry days. I'm not going to let you guys do that. You guys have been so generous, but he's dancing.
That's right. The thing, though, is that in this new landscape, there is, and look, this is only the first step.
Somebody could take the solo sponsor stream spot.
But at the very least, you have to have something. You've got to have something somewhat unique or original, a point of view. You know, with your interview with Elon Musk, it's like, oh, you're against DEI, so you must be racist. Like, that's just not going to cut it around here. You just got to have something better than that. It's, you realize, and it's a function, I think, of monopoly, essentially, that you realize you just, like, the atrophy.
You never saw that, bro? How did you never see that? Actually, so we'll put it up in the after party, because there's a few clips that are worth watching. So make sure you're there.
That you provide is so incredible because you've never had to work for it. You haven't had to compete with anybody. Your ratings are artificially boosted by airport television stations, and you're just there saying nothing.
Bar airports.
Yeah, literally. And so it's like they're not even on at the airports anymore.
Nope. No.
There's too many people who must have been complaining. You're like, just put on the game, dude. I want to watch something real.
That's exactly why you should have watched the fucking clip. Well, watch it in the after party. It's gold. It's gold. It's gold. Guanzag said, to be honest, most of my experience with Tulsi is through podcasts. I could do more looking into her, but she just seems so reasonable compared to so many politicians. And I agree with you. You know, a lot is, you know, specifically the Rogan appearances, but the thing is that we are in a new era of what a politician is. And so the same skepticism that I had in 2020 from being so confident in voting for the fucking evil person in 2016. I was so confident. I was so confident. And I was so wrong. And so I just don't trust myself enough to judge people's characters like that. I need to see hard evidence that you did this thing. You could have done that, but you did this. That is what I need. And that's why I didn't vote for Trump in 2020. And I mean, looking back, I had the justifications in hindsight, but at the time I wasn't ready, and I wasn't going to be pressured into casting a vote for somebody that I wasn't 100% behind. Not that I have to agree 100% with them, but 100% I'm behind this guy, even if I don't agree with everything he says. Hey, we got a new sponsor of the stream, Indie Film, with the $5. Said Elon is my favorite African American. Don Lemon's mine. Jokes. And Morty's in bed, so let's give him his treat there. Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. And of course, that makes you the new sole sponsor of the stream.
Oh, it must have been complaining. You're like, just put on the game, dude. I want to watch something real.
Care. Competitive tag. I don't care. Whatever's on ESPN. Let's go.
100%.
Here's the thing. You would have had a liberal Joe Rogan if you didn't call him a...
No. You did have a liberal Joe Rogan.
Let's go.
100%.
Here's the thing. You would have had a liberal Joe Rogan if you didn't call him a transphobe for disagreeing with you on the thing he's the most an expert in.
Yeah. Or you would still have a liberal Joe Rogan. Shout out again to our boy. Thank you.
Well, think about that too, man. The fact that first he started getting, like, literally Joe Rogan. I mean, you can't even make this up for people who don't remember it. Joe Rogan never, when it first started at least, he didn't come out against trans people or against anything. He said, hey, there's a biological man cage fighting women, beating the shit out of women. And I'm telling you, as somebody who's like fought my entire life, this is wrong. Men shouldn't get to go beat up women. And that's fine that like this guy identifies as a woman now, but I'm telling you, the bone structure of a man and the advantages that you have by biologically being a man to fight a woman is not right.
Not same. Very different, but not same. Behave said I couldn't deal with a liberal female president. She'd have all the female periods synced up. Oh no, that's too much PMSing for me. My vagina, says Behave, would hate it. Fair enough. Gontek said the Aloha messaging hours home with me a lot. Coming from a family of islanders, it really be like that. I don't know what you're talking about. Treat everyone with respect because you never know who's your auntie or uncle. That sounds like some redneck shit, but okay.
And he also didn't say she shouldn't be able to fight women. he just had to disclose it.
Yes,
because
that was
Durandamy beat the shit out of this trans lady, right?
Yep.
Jermaine
Yes.
Durandamy.
Now what Rogan was saying after that.
Wait. Maybe I misheard.
Durandamy.
Yes,
because Durandamy beat the shit out of this trans lady, right?
Okay, holy fuck. I thought they were saying Jermaine Durandamy was the trans woman. Okay, sorry. That's gonna. Some of you are gonna know, and the rest of you are gonna be like, "What?" But yeah,
just had to disclose it.
Yes,
because
that was
Durandamy beat the shit out of this trans lady, right? Jermaine Durandamy.
Now what Rogan was saying after that was then everyone was like, "See, that's proof that like a woman could beat this man." And Rogan had an excellent point. He was like, "No, that's proof that this trans woman isn't even good.
Yep,
she's not even like a good fighter. She was only winning these fights because of biological man fighting women." And again, look, the argument is so overwhelming on this that men shouldn't fight women. It's first of all, it is completely common sense to everyone, but then you just go
we
like,
were all told as children.
Well, look, why?
You know how many times I would have loved to just fucking put one right in their suck hole?
I said shit. Me too. Right in the bonus hole. Right in the bonus hole. Come on.
Yeah,
I got the memo a little late, but you're not supposed to. It's frowned upon. Yes. But it's like, look, why is it that, let's say, why is it that men don't fight women in the UFC? Forget the trans question. Just saying, why is there a men's division and a women's division? Okay.
How have we not used that framing in the first place? Why is there like how have we not thought of that? Why do they have men and women fighting in different categories in the first place? Take the trans out of it. That's brilliant. Men test ideas, women test men.
The trans question. Just saying, why is there a men's division and a women's division? Okay, it's because we all recognize that there is something unfair about men fighting women. And what is that that's unfair? Is that how those men feel about themselves, or is it biology?
It's biology.
It's biology, right? It's not. We're not keeping John Jones out of the female division because of how he identifies. We're keeping him out of there because of what he is objectively.
For coke.
Yeah, well, that's,
I'm not going to believe that fight's happening on Saturday until they touch gloves. I refuse.
Well, it better be happening. That's all I'll say.
Smart move. Smart move. It did happen, by the way. Play.
But yeah, that's but you know what
I need a new mouse,
so
guys.
He says this, and then these what I can only describe like these. I get people. I don't hate, and I don't like but there's like these mentally ill.
He's so bothered by having to say this. I love it.
Hate, and I don't like but there's like these mentally ill 20-somethings at Spotify who got all up in arms over Rogan about that, and then the entire regime sides with them. They side with them. They don't go, oh, listen, Joe Rogan here is making a very reasonable point about an area that he has legit expertise in, and he should be allowed to make this very obviously correct point. Yeah. You know, like it's not.
That was the biggest black pill, if there ever was one. The realization that millennials, as we were in college and we were college brained, the thought that like, oh, once millennials get out into the workforce, they're screwed. You know, the real world. That didn't happen. Millennials took the fuck over the real world and turned it into what we have. So as a millennial, I don't really like millennials.
This isn't even like something like, you know, you have a swimmer who's born a man but identifies as a woman and is breaking all of the girls' swimming records.
Leah Thomas.
You might feel about that, and I think there's a reasonable argument that those girls have that it's like, hey, you just like this is not right. But we're talking about cage fighting here. You're not talking about like, you know, cage fighting is a sport where in general everyone's taking their health in their risk, they're taking their health in their, you know, hands.
Well,
and yeah, right,
putting their health at risk,
right, or other people's hands. But like to have a man fight like striking a woman with everything he's got is just wrong. And so anyway, it's all just so yeah, there's a lot of different lessons like this, but it's just like Yeah, that's here. The reason why you can't create your own Joe Rogan is because no one could be Joe Rogan arguing for this shit.
And that's exactly. And we know that for sure. We don't need the counterfactual because we already had the liberal Joe Rogan. We already have the Joe Rogan that lives in this universe. And so we know for a fact that liberal Joe Rogan cannot exist. Cannot exist. And so that's not an issue with there being a lack of people. That is an issue with the ideology itself.
Well, it's just, if you can't have a dissenting opinion, you can't be an iconoclast.
Right. And if you're not even trying, if you're not even trying to have a thoughtful opinion, when the one big podcast, I guess that Kamala Harris did, was the Call Her Daddy podcast.
I watched none of it. I watched a little bit of her on Shannon Sharp, and I was like, I can't with this.
She went on Shannon Sharp? I didn't even know that.
Not a great interview. Kat was great on there, so I was like, maybe this will be good.
Yeah,
but it just wasn't very good.
I saw clips of.
Right, exactly. Liberal Joe Rogan did exist, and he quote unquote died, and became the MAGA Joe Rogan, or at least the Maha Joe Rogan, because of exactly the ideology. So we know for a fact that a liberal Joe Rogan in 2024 cannot exist. They said, speaking of, didn't the trans boxer at the Olympics get proven to be originally male? Yup. Micro penis. Am said, correction, younger millennials. It's the ones that are 90s born approximately that had reduced educational standards. No child left behind. It existed for a year or so before I was out of high school. Yeah. 89. Be 35 in 8 days. Oh, shit. That's soon. Oh, fuck. That just fucked with me. Oh, shit. Did we just detonate?
How dare you?
Of both. But also then you realize, like, the numbers just didn't do good. Like her Call Her Daddy, last I checked, had like 700,000 views or something like that.
I think it was, when I checked, it was like maybe a couple weeks ago, it was like 1.4. But Kat was still at like 80 million.
Yeah, but still, even think about that. Donald Trump is over 100 million with Rogan. Yeah. I don't know what his numbers are.
And that's when you couldn't find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's when I went to find it on YouTube the next day, or like maybe it was later that day.
It was 3 weeks ago, and it has only just now 1.6 million views for someone who was running for the president of the United States of America. But yeah, no, just give her more time and she would do way better. Okay. Behave said, I can't watch Kamala. I don't speak or understand drunken word salad. I said, shit, me too. Yeah. And so the older millennials are not that woke. Most of my high school classmates are based. I mean, so are mine, but that's because that's a whole other conversation. But I don't think it tracks like that. I don't think it's like that. I think older millennials and younger millennials alike, there's the good ones and the bad ones. Just like the Zoomers, there's the good ones and the bad ones. And this goes back to my theory about that that difference where Gen Xers are, you're all the same fucking thing, right? You're all fucking Gen Xers. I'm so tough. I need street lights and drank from the holes and all that stuff. Millennials, that's when we start seeing a clear divide where we have the good ones and then like, oh, you're a fucking millennial. That gives millennials bad names. Then you have the Zoomers. Now that's even a wider scope. And the bad Zoomers are even worse than the bad millennials. But the good Zoomers are arguably better than the good millennials. And then we go to Alpha, and the good Gen Alphas are going to save the world. That's what I said. That's what I said, and I stand on it. And even said, to be fair, I've been known to speak drunken word salad in the after party. Very true, but you're not running for president, so we don't quite hold you to the same standard.
I had to type the entire thing and then go down. It was not the first result.
No, I mean, I know for a fact that the numbers between YouTube, Twitter, and Spotify were well north of 100 million. And part of it is just because Donald Trump was talking. He was having a real conversation. Kamala Harris went to all of these stops and attempted to just do what she does. The big clip that I think we played on this show and then like responded to was her. It's like the call her daddy chick is like, now, you know,
exactly. This is some Gen X shit. Saying, oh, you left out the exact thing that. Yep, Gen Xer in the chat.
V. Wade got struck down.
Wait.
Like the call her daddy chick is like, now, you know, Roe v. Wade got struck down. Madam Vice President, can you think of any laws that control a man's body? And they're just like, you know, I can't. And it's like, right. I mean, that's what we did on the show. Is just name all of the, all of them, every one of them, like every law,
like all of the law, all of the laws,
essentially.
Selective service. That's the first one.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty obvious one.
Yeah.
I didn't get fucking trigger, right? I didn't get trigger. Fuck you. You're banned. Ban him. That's a joke.
Drug laws. The income tax.
Do not ban this man.
Like a million.
Do not ban this man, please.
Things, but like, you know, I don't know. It's all just so like,
you can't drink unpasteurized milk.
I mean, yeah, really, legitimately, there are so many freaking laws that control men and women's bodies. So first off, it's a stupid point. But then second off, it's just the most shallow, basic, dumb talking point thing. And like, whatever.
I do have neighbors, and shout out to my neighbor who just said, hey, just an FYI, sorry to bother you because I know you're probably talking, but I put 2 bags of stuff like cereal, candies, chips, cookies, and pudding. Check the expiration dates, but most of them are good. We overshop and we don't want the food to go to waste. Enjoy. So no. I'm gonna go broke if you ban it. But yeah, I'm gonna go broke. Don't do that. But yeah, my neighbors are pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now, funny little story. So you know, she partakes in the devil's lettuce, usually more on the edible side, but whatever. She's asked me to get stuff for her. And then what had happened was she was like, when I first moved in, she has a daughter who has a kid or kids. I don't know, whatever. They would come over and to her house. And so my neighbor would say, look, no. That's how you lose a wrench. My neighbor was like, look, you know, my daughter is bringing her kids over here and, you know, it smells like weed and da-da-da-da-da-da. Can you do something about something? I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'll turn the fan on. Never did that. Never was an issue ever again. Then last week she says again, yeah, I know. Like, did you switch to like a new strain or something? Because, you know, again, my daughter was just saying, and same thing. I was like, oh yeah, you know, I did, and I switched the fans with the web, so I'll try to go back to the other fan. And then I was coming home from work the next day, and I drive in, and I see that she's outside smoking her cigarette. So I'm thinking, should I, just, you know, act like, oh yeah, of course, I turned, like, see if she brings it up, and just not say anything, just walk inside, oh hey, how you doing, whatever. B, ask the open-ended question, was it better last night? Even though I hadn't changed anything about my smoking habits. Or option 3, or C, what did I say, A, B, C? The third option being, oh, last night was better, right? Even though I didn't change anything, you prime the question. I was like, last night the smell was better, right? She's like, oh yeah, thank you. I didn't change shit, and I ain't going to. Sorry. That is my legal right as an American and a New Jersey resident. Now, if it's like, you know, she won't bring the kids over anymore. Oh, okay. All right. We'll figure something out. I'm not trying to have you not see it. But like, you just, the last 2 years, there was no problem. Priming indeed is amazing. Comcast said, hell yeah, neighbors that use the electric cabbage are usually pretty awesome. Well, I mean, you saw the text. She just let me a bunch of food. My guy said, come on, I don't hold grudges. I've been kicked out of shady strip joints in this. I 1000% believe you. Comcast said, that's a good use of a closed-ended question. They can only choose yes or no. And yeah, and so then even she was like, no, actually, no, it did come through. But I knew she wasn't going to think that. Like, I knew that she wasn't aware of it. She's not aware of the smell because it's all the time. And again, it's not like I smoke all day. I smoke 2 joints before I go to sleep. That's it. So, and I used to smoke more. So I think what may have happened is that her daughter came over on a day that I had the day off, and I happened to just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to smoke a little bit. And so it was a fresh smell in the middle of the day. And that's what she noticed, because the daughter and her children have been here plenty of times over the last 2 years that, I haven't said anything. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate the near expired cereal and pudding, but that's my medicine, baby. That's my medicine. 2 joints in the morning, smoke 2 joints at night. Yeah, I don't. The wake and bake. If I have anything close to, or if I have anything to do, the weed I smoke is too heavy for that. I missed it. What did I say? Behave said Trump has big dick energy. Biden doesn't even have lip dick energy. More like dead dick funeral. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's a comment of the night. Comment of the night. Oh my goodness. Well done. All right, let's finish this up here and head to the ad.
Shallow, basic, dumb talking point thing, and like whatever you say about the podcast world.
Hey, shout out Giggling Spine. What's good? Yeah, I mean, there you go. That used to be my life, and then I just got old, and now, well, I mean, the fact that I take like 300 milligrams at night, and then I'm still just weed hungover in the morning also helps. But
compared to like the corporate media world, that's not what we're looking for over here.
Mm-hmm.
You need to do a little bit better than the most shallow.
Well, I mean, Dave Smith delivers a lot of SmackDowns. I just don't cover them very often because usually he's so like tight and on point with it that there's not like it would just be us watching the podcast. Like I have to be able to add more in here. And so they're not, this is, again, this is from last week. And so this isn't directly related to Comcast or CNN, MSNBC, and any of that stuff. And so now I have the ability to be like, oh, all of this stuff that they're talking about is very clearly true. And then a week later, we can see that it follows exactly what we've been saying. And then the mainstream media or the legacy media dies, then I can add some. And shout out to Sublime.
Talking point and then pretending like you've said something.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
That's not what we're looking for over here.
Mm-hmm.
You need to do a little bit better than the most shallow talking point and then pretending like you've said something.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, well, dude, listen, I do have to wrap up because I got another show to run right too. But tell people again where they can find your comedy special or anything else you're promoting.
So, I mean, just the comedy special is the main thing. You can definitely find it on YouTube. I've heard from a couple of people that you have to type the whole thing in. But it's Chris Faga, Burn After Saying. It's a half hour.
Faga is Faga. Burn After Saying.
Like I said, I filmed it down in New Hampshire with all those libertarian savages. And then you can also find me at Chris from BKLYN on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll be retweeting it all week. Please go check that out.
We'll put the link to it in the description for the episode so people can go right there.
Great,
and get it. All right.
And on that note, the link to that is in the description of this. If you would like to go check out, we did cover the entire thing. But if you'd like to go back and check through it or see what is good with Chris Faga and his comedy, that is where to find it. So, I mean, so far, we've been optimistic here. We've been optimistic about, what lies ahead. And I plan to stay rather optimistic, but we have to stay vigilant as well. Hey, look at that. Smoke Master said, since no one's going to ban me, I'll have to do it myself. Snip you jerks later. Oh, no. Oh, my God. We lost him. But he paid me, so we good. I don't give a fuck. I'm glad that motherfucker's gone. What a loser.
Just kidding. Thank you. So very, very much. Stealing that sponsor spot away from Indie Film at the very last minute. Very, very much appreciated. $2, and he took him out. Thank you. Hey, Carl, in the last minute. The buzzer beater indeed. Welcome. Make sure you join us in the after party, bro. I was showing I showed the whatchamacallit, when you guys originally rated. I showed that on the stream tonight. So let's give one last big shout out to the Shuli Network, to Stuttering John. Skull. Thank you guys. You have been amazing. Oh, look what we got. Oh my goodness. You guys are amazing. Let's give him a nice juicy one there. Yeah, he's ready for it. Thank you. So very much. Let's go through the fuck Stuttering John. Before we go, let's go through all of them. We had Carl and Funkmaster with his buzzer beater, sponsor beater dinger beer. Indie Film grabbing the spot right before that. We had Garrett gifting a membership. Thank you so much. Westfield doing the damn thing. We had Smith, the 45 ACP. Long time no see. Love to see you, brother. Thank you. Funk again. Westfield again. Mobius, our boy. Jonathan, who came in hot with the 20. Look at that. We got our boy Right Click, who thought that he was the only theistic the only theistic person here and was wrong, but that's okay. We like to be wrong, and that's how we learn. Guantex said swell for Maha. That's what we're doing. We're swelling up for Maha. Guys, thank you so very, very much. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you being here, being part of the conversation, caring enough about what I have to say, caring enough about my life and my body to want to donate so that I can be a healthy person, which I'm not. I should be way healthier, and I'm not. But I'm on that journey, and you guys are helping me, and I really appreciate it. And obviously, yeah, it's a fucking gimmick for money. I'm not fucking hiding that. This is the way that I would like to be able to fund my life. So I'm not trying to pretend anything. I am out here, and I would like your money, but I would like that money because I think I can make a big difference in all of our lives. So if you think that is even slightly possible, then you're in the right place. Thank you guys so very, very much. Once again, we have our boy Morty here, and I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. And of course, don't forget, we're headed to the after party. Until then, guys, we are out of here. Peace.